Welcome back. Pedro Dora Santiago back at you. It is Sunday and we're going to go live. We are live. So, first off, hope you guys are doing well. All right. We got the hour celebrating. I'll be 40 this coming up week. So, the celebration starts tonight. So, thanks for being here, guys. So, today's topics and in 3 featured channels. We'll get into the live chat and then we'll get into the topics. And then we'll talk about my week. And that'll be that. So, everybody say hi to old Pedro, Gabby, Ruby, Hootie the Owl. So, all right. So first off, my week was pretty good. I did Instacart. I did an Instacart batch, 2 of them on, I think Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. One went really well. The first one went really well. The second one was, but that's when you shop for people. Sometimes that's going to happen. So it is what it is. And then I went out. I worked a little bit yesterday. I usually don't work on Saturdays, but I'm going to be taking the week of Thanksgiving off. So I'm going to work this Saturday and next Saturday, or this past Saturday and next Saturday to kind of make up for that lost time that I'll have. Because I won't work for 7. Actually, I won't work for 8 days. So that'll be good. Anyways, week was good. Hit my goal. I made $34 on Instacart, which was kind of cool. Did 2 batches. I learned a lot just with those 2 batches. And I also learned a lot from the comments that you guys left in that video because I asked, hey, how did I do? What did I do wrong? Give me some tips. Give me some tricks because Instacart's different, right? So I actually learned a lot from you guys as well. And I watched some other YouTube videos. So when I go out this week, if I turn it on, I'll feel a little more informed. So that was my week. I hope your week was good. Put it in the chat. Where do you guys dash and how was your week? You guys seeing it get a little bit busy. I worked on Saturday, like I said, and it was actually really good. I didn't do any Instacart, DoorDash, Uber, and I had like an hour there. I had 1 hour on Saturday. I made $60 in 1 hour. It was fantastic. Anyways, I had a good week. I'm not going to lie, but my market's really, really good. I hope you guys had a good week as well. So tonight's topics, and then we'll take live calls at 9:15 like we always do. So first topic, I got 4 of them this week. 2 of them are gig related. The other 2 kind of aren't. I also made a video this week where I had some confirmation that some merchants, this doesn't happen often, but it does happen. They will take part of the tip that the customer left. And if they dispatch it and the order comes through their website and not DoorDash, they'll take some of the tip and give it to their staff. And I have a strong opinion about it, but because it's not right, but I understand it a little bit. And I want to talk about that with some people that want to call in. I've managed restaurants for almost 18 years. As a manager, you want to take care of your staff. You want to make sure that they're happy because if they're happy, they'll come back. And if they're not making money, they won't come back. And with the shortage of staffs at all restaurants right now, some managers are put in a predicament to where, man, they see a $20 tip. Ooh, do I give 10 of this to my person and then 10 to the driver? Will the driver find out? It's really shady, right? But I want your guys' opinion. Is this bad or good? I don't know. It doesn't happen often. I think it's bad overall for us because we're DoorDash drivers. But I want us to think a little more forwardly. What about the person that's bagging the food? Taking the order, processing it, dealing with dashers coming in. Do they deserve some of that tip? I don't know. I'm not saying that they do, but let's have a discussion about that. Also, wintertime's coming for you guys that are going to be in inclement weather. Is your car winter ready? Because listen, St. Louis will get hit with crazy winters. Tomorrow's going to be 70 degrees, but then next week it could snow. That's how it is in St. Louis. Is your car ready? Are your tires good? Is your battery good? Are your fluids good? Is your car winter ready? Do you have emergency kit? You got blankets? Third topic, when you're out and you're working, how do you handle stress, anxiety, frustrations? What do you do when those times, we all get there, and I'm guilty of it. What do you do when you're stressed out and you're working? How do you handle that? You got any tips and tricks? Like what works for you when you're out there trying to make money and it's just not happening for you? And the fourth topic, since it's my birthday week, I'll be 40 in a couple of days. If you'd like to call in and share a birthday moment, your favorite birthday moment in your life that you had, either when you were a kid, adult, a birthday story, something fun, a favorite memory that you had for your birthday or somebody else's birthday, maybe just a birthday moment. You could share it in the comments as well. So those are the 4 topics. Let's get right into the 3 featured channels. So we feature 3 channels on this Sunday live every week. 2 of them will be gig related, and then 1 will be non-gig related that I also enjoy. So like I say, when we do feature channels, check them out, watch a video or 2 if you're vibing with the content, hit the red subscribe button to support these smaller channels. If you don't like it, you don't hit the button, it's all good, right? The first one is a channel called BeGoodDoGood, okay? It's all one word, BeGoodDoGood. It's a gig channel, multiple gig apps that guy runs. The second one is called Lil, like Lil Meredyth, Meredyth. Lil Meredyth, also a gig channel. And then the third one is a new one that I've been watching for the last maybe month or so. It's a lifestyle channel, like men's lifestyle, fashion, things like that. He's an influencer. He's the only person that I follow because he seems like a cool guy. And it's kind of like, I'm not into like fashion. I'm not into a lot of that stuff, but I like the channel because the content's real fresh and he mixes it up. His name is Alex Costa. He's from Brazil, I believe. Super cool guy, real handsome young guy. Alex Costa, huge channel. He's an influencer. So if you're a man or a woman that likes that kind of influencer kind of channels, you might like this one. It's cool. It doesn't come off as kind of corny or cheesy like some of the other ones do. So those are the three channels. Be Good, Do Good, Lil Meredyth, Alex Costa. Those are 3 channels for the week. So let's talk about the chains. These are not real. So we're having a 80s themed party for my birthday at my family's house in a few days. And I bought these at the store because I'm going to be like an 80s hip hop person. I got a bucket hat, big glasses, like a tracksuit. So I bought these today and I'm rocking them for my birthday this week. So I know look gaudy to somebody's costume jewelry for my costume. I thought I'm in a birthday mood. Let me rock it with my Bet on You t-shirt. All right, so time is at 9:07. Let's see who's in the chat. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. Let's see who we got in here right now. So all the people that were here in the beginning: Crazy Cajun, Bud Soda, TN, JK, Alan, what up? Tracy, Rideshare Rodeo Podcast, what up, brother? Christopher Taylor, we got Kathy, hello. Lucinda Phillips, how are you? Nathan, Victor, Stephanie, Cheryl, TN, Paulina, look forward to talking to you. You got Nathan again. You got thanks for the happy birthday, guys. Appreciate it. James, Cheryl, Alexander, what up? What up? Stephanie, Lauren, Joseph, Ronald. We got Pull My Finger. What up, man? Yeah. We'll talk about that, Paulina. James, Carnifash, Jen. We got Soldier 898, Drive Powered by Hope. We got Adam Gwynn. Paul, what up, my friend? How are you? And Rebecca. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate you guys doing this Sunday with me. Kicking off my birthday week. I'm not somebody that usually I don't look forward to my birthday often, but this past couple of years have been like so high and low. Like a lot of crazy things have happened in my 38 year, and in my 39 year has been actually a remarkable year. It didn't start off that way, but this past year has been very good to me in a lot of ways. Obviously, with the birth of my daughter Ruby, the YouTube channel, betting on myself, like doing and feeling really great. So this year's been great. So I do want to kind of celebrate it. I'm kind of having a birthday week. It's going to be fun. I'm going to do something Tuesday with the family, Thursday with some friends, and then I'll probably take the weekend off and probably do something then as well. So that's the chat. So topics of the night, I'll run that down again, and then I'll put the phone number in the live chat right now. Phone number is 314-526-6232, and we take calls at 9:15. Hold on, 6232. Is that right? Is that the number? I think that's the number. All right. So topics again, running them down for the new people that walked in. Tips. Merchants that take a portion of the customer tip and give it to their staff and give some to us. What are your thoughts on that? I want us to be open-minded when we have that dialogue. Is your car winter ready? That's topic 2. What do you do? How do you do when you have stress, anxiety, frustrations? You're out dashing. You're doing any kind of work, even if you're not a gig worker. And you have those moments of stress, anxiety, frustration. How do you handle that while you're working to where you hopefully don't let it compromise your job, but also you have to feel your feelings and be aware of that so that you're not compromising your mental health, right? Just for work, because work at the end of the day, it's what we do to pay bills, but it's not who we are. So let's talk about that. And then share with me your favorite birthday moment or somebody else's birthday moment, maybe some moment you made for your kids or moment you made for your parent. Maybe when you were younger, you had a great birthday moment. If you want to share any of that, we could do that as well. So phone calls will start in about 5 minutes. If you guys have other things you want to talk about, put them in the chat. And if I can read them, chat goes pretty quick sometimes. We'll see. Let's read some of these chats here. As far as stress when doing gig work, if it happens, I will pull over and knit and crochet for a few moments and chill till it goes away if I don't have an order. That's Heather MacArthur. I like that. So you know that sometimes that happens to you and you kind of have a plan and you pull over, crochet, woosah yourself, center yourself. I like that. James Ruffalo, speaking of 80s, what about the song Pass the Dutchie? Ooh, hold on. I'm having a brain fart on that one. I'll have to look at that. JK, Saturday night, stacked order, Blaze Pizza and Chipotle. First order waited 20 minutes over prep time. Next Chipotle, $3, no tip. It's late. Hit the question mark to unassigned. Nope. Only option is DoorDash support. That's odd. If you don't confirm the first order, if you have a stacked order and you don't confirm the one, even if you've picked it up, you should be able to unassign. If you confirm the pickup for that first Blaze, I think, then you hit the question. You can't unassign. You can only unassign through support. I do know that. Aretha, hey, what up? Happy birthday. We got you, Monroe. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Renee, what up? Tracy B, you're older yet wiser, my friend. Definitely a little wiser, but that's because I've done a lot of crazy things. And I've been a hard way learner in my life. So I'm starting to learn that about myself and make better decisions. So what up, Bud Soda? Joseph, welcome to the 40s Club. I'm getting closer to the 50s. Yeah, I feel good, though. I do feel good. Aretha, I received a Walmart order on DoorDash for 149 items, and the pay was $9.50. I did not take it. Aretha, we call that Kobe. That's what we call that. You put it in the trash. You shoot it like Kobe. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Cheryl, why does Walmart charge customers $10 for express delivery orders, and we don't get a penny of it? They don't even say it's DoorDash. They say it's, 30. I know. Walmart's shady, man. I can't even begin to talk about how shady some of the. I can't. I don't know why though. It's crazy. If I got an order, blast iTunes and jam to anything happy. I like that. Hey Pedro, I'm 60 today. Happy birthday, Carla Sheehan. Best years of my life ahead. Thanks for what you do. I love that attitude. Love it. Happy birthday to you, Kobe. All day. 54 and still rocking. What up, Nathan? I appreciate that. Let's see what else we got in the chat before we take the first call. We got a couple minutes. Grandmaster Flash, yeah, Knoxville, Tennessee in the house. What up? Knoxville. I'll be driving through Tennessee. Where are we going? Virginia. We're going to Virginia for Thanksgiving. So we're going to be driving through part of that. Bob Evans, Pedro, Master Flash, early Metallica. There we go. Hey, Pedro, it's been crazy here. I have so much going on. I'm about halfway to Casper, Wyoming. So I figured I can catch it live. I'm dashing full time now, and I'm in the process of moving to Casper. Okay. Drive powered by Hope. Safe travels. I hope that works out well for you. Listen to good blues guitar, y'all. You can't go wrong with blues. Blues, for me, blues is a mood, though. I got to be in a particular mood for blues. But I definitely agree with you on that. Definitely. Ronald says, Pedro, I just started doing DoorDash, and I wanted you to know your videos helped me tremendously. Trash Kobe. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad I could help. What's this one? Happy 40th, bro. I just had mine September 24th. Stay blessed. Stay doing anything. Keep your family growing and strong. Absolutely, Stephanie Johnson. Happy belated birthday to you. All right, so what up, John? What up? Lucinda? Well, Lucinda's always in here. Listen, Lucinda, Kathy, the OGs, man. You guys have been here rocking with me for a while. I appreciate that. All right, so we will need my sanity. I hear that. So Daniel McCoy says, I recently got a contract violation recently for being late to pick up. The thing that they think is they order, etc., disappeared and went back to wow. Anyone else have this problem? I don't know, Daniel. I haven't had that yet. Let's take our first call. It's right at 9:15. So let's take this first call. You are live with Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Who do we have on the line this evening?
First caller. Soda.
What up, bud? Hey, brother. How you doing, man?
Oh, out there. More trucks going busy. As soon as I turn on the app, give me double stack. As soon as I jump on this last order, give me another. I mean, it's like $1.20 a mile. That's great. But you gave me it right away. I'm not telling you how to check my own. I took it. Hopefully it's back to you down. Trying to earn out extra money. I don't think I'll make 200. I'm still got on today, but yeah, I can't flip my trip. That's like $300. Just don't help me. $100 I can go stuff alone. So one of the subjects that's perfect, so I want to get this out of the way.
Yeah, I hear you.
Last year's birthday, not last year, 2019, at the Rona. So 2 years ago.
Yeah.
She had her baby, and she's like 4 or 5 weeks. She was still a little hit from it. And, of course, she got almost in the bar. She was her ED. And she wasn't passing physical tests very well because she was still a little uneasy on her feet. And finally, after she did the test, she flew 0, and they're like, I just got something pregnant. Showed the stretch marks, and they're like, oh, we can audibly hear them in
Wow.
And I got quite intoxicated that night and ended up sitting in the car outside of it. That's like a fun time. Bonfires, up the bar, darts, all that stuff. Anyways, I'm having a pretty good week. Not as busy as I'm moving to my mid-tier market. And, hang on a second. You still hear me, Pedro?
Yeah, that's better actually too. Yeah. Can you guys hear him better now? Put it in the chat. I can hear you better now. I was having a hard time.
Sorry, I was on Bluetooth. My car's a little loud.
That's better. Okay, so your week. So you said your week was going okay, right?
Yeah, I'm moving to my quote busier market. I picked up a new W-2. It's going to be my only W-2 now. Hoping to invest in the business, betting on myself, and trying to grow.
So hold on, Bud. So you had, I know, maybe maybe a month ago or so, you were telling me, I think you had 3 or 4 W-2s. You're saying you're down to 1 now.
Yes.
Okay. So what are you going to be doing to bet on yourself and or this business stuff? Like, have you thought about it? Do you have something in particular, or are you just now starting to think about it?
Well, I'm hoping this grouse change up and get like at least $20,000, if not more, to invest in this detailing business.
Okay.
And they contract with my former employer as one of their biggest contracts. So, and it helps a lot.
Yeah, I bet. So what is your busier market? You said you're starting to.
Watertown, Fort Drum. Watertown zone's grayed out. Fort Drum was very busy, so I hopped on and immediately got a 1250 stack, which turned into more. Wasn't much more, but it was some more.
Yeah. Okay.
As far as the other subject, crap, I can't remember off the top of my head.
So I'm gonna ask you. I want to get your opinion on this question here before we go to the next call. So, when merchants, okay, let's say there's a $20 tip on the Papa John's app through the Papa John's website, and that particular manager decides to take the tablet and give 10 of that tip to you, and 10 to his staff. What do you think about that?
Everyone's gonna hate me.
No, I want everybody's opinion. I want everybody's opinion.
Because I've worked both sides of the counter.
So have I. Yeah.
So fair game.
Okay.
Fair game. Half. Depends on the miles. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If they see it's 15 miles and they take 10 of it, it's gonna sit there forever, and they should know that.
Good point.
If you're talking about those busier times where they can't have their own drivers, and one of the ones I just got.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely one I got deployed to because their drivers are too busy, and it was a good order.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's
ironically, it's Papa John's that just jumped up.
Yeah, I think it's odd because that's funny. But I think it's like, I want us drivers, we do take 99% of the risk. We're in our car, it's our gas, inclement weather, like we're waiting for them to, but there is some work being done at the Papa John's level, right? Like the person has to take the phone call over the phone or put it in. They're making the pizza. They're cutting it. They are doing things. And I think some managers get a little greedy and or don't know how to manage their people. So they throw money at them and, to appease them. And I get it because I've been there. But I think it's tough because as drivers, we feel like the customer left that tip for us. At least they probably think so. And we're not, go ahead.
I think of it this way. Think you're at a place that has bartenders and waitresses. They're paid tip wage. And they're expected to do this on their lousy $2 whatever tip wage and not get anything out of it. So, I mean, in my opinion, that's fair game. Let's say there's a large catering order. It's 100-something items and the tip's like $50. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem if they took 25 of it, Yeah. That's just my opinion on it. No, I don't. Yeah. I imagine everyone in the chat's probably blowing me up. Bud Soda's gone crazy.
No, I mean, I get it. I think that is, and I just made a video about this, and like I think stealing tips is wrong because I think they have to figure out another way to compensate their employees. And where I worked, we put more of a surcharge on the delivery, and we gave an extra $2 to each on each order. We charged the customer, and that $2 went to the actual staff. Like there's other ways around it because at some point karma's going to catch up to you, and you're not going to be able to do that forever because somebody will find out about it. But I understand it a little bit more that I've been thinking about it, But like, it's just, we're trying to put Band-Aids on like a bigger issue because the transparency, the merchants don't share with the customer and the gig apps don't share with the customer. Like eventually the bubble bursts and we run into small issues like this. But I don't know. I like how you're thinking about it. I appreciate that honesty. I know that's not easy to say because some people might not agree, but we can all agree. We can all have different opinions, and we're all gig workers, and we always want all that money. But at the end of the day, there is the other side we have to think about sometimes, I think,
Well, let's put it this way. I picked up a non-tipped order that was a pretty decent-sized order. It was like $80 worth of food, and it ended up getting passed around until it was like $6-something. I think it was like $6.25 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it got boosted all the way up to that, and I finally took it, and it offered me as a stack, and it was already sitting there waiting ready for me. And I asked the customer, I'm like, what is DoorDash charging and all this? I was trying to gently break, like, did you tip, without being rude. And they're like, yeah, I put $10 on, and I knew that restaurant had taken the $10 for themselves.
Yeah, so, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad.
But if you outright take it all, I think that's wrong.
Yeah. And I know those people that work in these pizza places and stuff, I mean, they're working hard. And, even though the other, a steakhouse, the person's bagging up this $200 order and they see a $50 tip and they're doing a lot of the work. And we are as well because, we're driving our cars, using our fuel. There's got to be a better way to keep everybody happy and taken care of to where they feel motivated to work. Because I'll be honest, if I'm somewhere working and I put a lot of this effort into this big order and I see there's a big tip and I don't get any of it, and I maybe had to work on that versus working on my tables that would tip me, that could be frustrating. So, all right, but so I'm gonna take the next call. I appreciate you calling in and you're sharing your opinion, my friend. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. I mean, I might be unpopular for it, but like you said, some management can't get their head out of their butt and not know how to manage. I've had plenty of bad managers. I'm sure I would have liked you as a manager because you're more flexible.
Well, you have. I mean, there's some things you can't be, but other things you have to. In this day and age, you have to have a little gray zone. I think with certain things, and other things you got to be firm on, so they don't. You're not a pushover. But I think you make a good point. Appreciate you calling in. Have a good week, brother.
Thank you too.
All right, man.
I appreciate you a lot, man.
All right, man. See you. All right, let's take the next call. So interesting. I think that. I get it. I understand what he's saying. It's tough. I think for me, I think this is a luxury-ish type service, and I think the customer should just be charged more so that this money can be distributed evenly. That's my opinion. But at the end of the day, I understand why they do it sometimes, and they're running a risk of getting caught. And most of the time, they're not going to get caught when they do it because we might not find out about it because we don't have the knowledge of what the customer actually tipped. We go based on what the app tells us after we drop it off. So it is what it is. So. Phone lines are open. We'll take the next call. Rideshare Rodeo Podcast. Thank you, my friend. For those of you that don't know, Rideshare Rodeo Podcast has a podcast. He's on YouTube. Check him out. Does really good interviews. I saw an interview he did with some guys. Oh, man. Rideshare Rodeo. Put it in the chat. I can't remember the company name. You had 3 other gentlemen that were working for that app. You guys did a really good interview the other day. I think it was 2 days ago. It was really good. You guys check it out. Rideshare Rodeo. Appreciate the $9.99, my friend. Thank you very much. Real Estate Dasher, what up, man? I saw you change your channel name, man. I saw that. We got to link up, man. I want to see what's going on with this real estate stuff. So hit my email, man, please. Curry, yes, Curry. That was interesting. I didn't know a lot about Curry until I saw you guys talking. And it's interesting. I don't even know if it's something that's in my area. Definitely interesting stuff, though. Appreciate the podcast you did. Almost home, killing me not to be able to chat. Kathy, you can call in later. I'll be here. We'll be here for a couple hours. Marty, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Scorpio all day long, man. I am a Scorpio. It's a gift and a curse. What's the number again? Oh, Roy, it is. Well, somebody's calling right now. I'll put the number in the chat in a second. You are live with Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Who do we have on the line tonight?
Hey, Pedro, it's your friendly hypnotist, Jim. What's up, buddy?
Jim, how you doing, man?
Oh, man, we're just kicking it day by day, man.
I hear you, man. I hear you. So do you know what the topics are tonight?
I do. I'm looking at, I've read that. I just was listening to your last caller, and funny thing, it kind of happened to me today. It was not, I don't know, it was weird. It was about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I usually come home about 4:30 before the dinner shift, come home, get a little something to eat.
Yeah.
See the missus for a minute or two, and I had an order going to a Marco's Pizza. It's a little popular chain here in the Carolinas.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a $6 order going 4.5 miles, but it was going on my way home. So once I dropped it, I was going home.
Yeah.
On my way to the restaurant, I got a stack on top of it from Marco's it was $8.95 for an additional 3 miles. And no problem, same area, I'll take it. Well, when I got to the restaurant, poor old guy was there working by himself. He had no drivers. He had nobody. It was just him. He'd been there since the store opened. It was going to be closing. And when I delivered, I noticed that both payouts were $6 a piece. So somewhere in the neighborhood, I lost $2.95. Don't know where, don't know how. I'm kind of like, I'm not greedy, but what's mine, I think's mine, and what's theirs is I think's theirs.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into big money, I haven't been doing it that long, but when you get into the big money, I'm kind of mixed. I think everybody should have a piece of the pie. I have no problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if they tell you you're going to pay me this, then that's what I expect.
Absolutely. I think so. Are you saying it changed by a couple dollars based on the initial offer screen, correct?
Correct. It showed one at $6 and one at $8.95. So that was going to be $13, $14 order, going 5.5, 6 miles, which was on my way home. So it was not a bad deal. Even if it wasn't going home, it still wasn't a bad deal.
Yeah.
But when I delivered, it shows you the payout, and like I said, both went to $6 a piece instead of $6 and $8.95.
That's odd.
So,
I've never seen that. You said it was DoorDash, right?
It was DoorDash.
Yeah. I've never had it go down in that way. Interesting stuff. And you said this was called a smaller mom and pop kind of pizza joint, right?
Yeah, it's called Marco's.
Yeah,
they're a pretty decent sized chain, like I said, in the Carolinas. So
okay.
I don't. But one of the reasons I wanted to call, and this is kind of off topic. This has just been bugging me almost since day one. And then I know you've done a couple of videos on it. I've got now 602 deliveries. Like I said, I'm going to be doing this a couple of months. 602 deliveries because I ended today.
Cool.
I've got 95 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 4 stars. Why anybody gives somebody a 4 star? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's such it's an odd thing.
And I got 1 star. My rating is like 4.84, and I cannot figure out why it is so low, and that doesn't seem to be going up. And I also know that over the past 3 or 4 days, something that I do to try to get my ratings up is I bought some almost like little placemats you see in restaurants when you sit down at the table, little paper mats.
Yeah.
And then I bought a stamp, and on my stamp it says, "Matt is courtesy of your driver. Enjoy your order. Have a wonderful day. Please leave us a 5-star review." Just kind of a little thing. And I stamp that, and then when I go to deliver the food, I put the mat down, set the food on top of the mat. That way it's not sitting on the ground. How can you not like that? And
okay.
I have I have stickers that I put on the bag, blah, blah, blah. So I do know that people have said, yeah, I'm definitely going to leave you a 5-star. I've even had comments come back, hey, the mat is cool. Thank you for doing that. But I'm not getting any ratings. Do you know how that works? Because it's baffling to me.
Yeah, so this is the advice I would give. I'll say this first. I've never used anything like that to facilitate ratings or asking for ratings, or I've never used anything like stickers or mats or anything like that. But I will say this. I think I've used DoorDash a few times, maybe 6 or 7 times. And after I get my order on DoorDash, I don't get a notification about asking me to rate them or anything. The only time I see it is if I go back in the DoorDash later to order something. Sometimes a pop-up will say rate your last experience, or how was the food, or how was the dasher. But typically I think most people, after they get their food, it's out of sight. They got what they needed. They don't rate. I think it's like surveys in some companies, hey, take this survey, circle the receipt, call this number, you might win $1,000. Most people don't do that. Most people don't rate. And I think that's why when you get a 1 or 2 or a 3, it's hard to come back from that sometimes to get the rating up, because so few people actually rate. And I can't really give great advice on how to get more people to do it, because I've never used it myself. I've always just the thing that's worked for me, and currently I'm at a 495 and I got 4,900 deliveries, is I'm just really communicative when things happen really wrong, or if there's going to be a long wait, and I really follow instructions. And if I see people like it hand to me, I'm very thankful to them, and I tell them I haven't, like I do little customer service things similar to like your mat thing. That's a really nice touch. But like I just do like the old school customer. I try to keep it really simple, and I feel like that works for me. But I know some people use these. You can go on Amazon and buy these stickers like, thanks for your order. Please rate me 5 stars. Or it doesn't say something like that, but it's something similar. It's something similar to that. And some people, they stick it on the cup, they stick it on the bag, or they put it in the bag. Some people agree with that, some people don't. But I think that might be a way to get more people to actually rate you. But once again, I think people are once they get their food, like they got what they needed. And as long as you didn't make a mistake, they're not going to give you a 1, but they're also not going to go in and give you a 5 because like the transaction's over, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I got you. And it's more of just more of a reminder to me for them. But I guess my question is with 95 5 stars, 2 4 stars, and 1 star, 602 deliveries. The 4.84 rating that I've got, mathematically that doesn't add up. Is there something that's behind the scenes that people can leave comments and do things that we don't see as drivers? That's something I've always thought. If someone's going to give me a bad review, fine. I don't really care who the person is that left the review. But I'd like to know what the review is so I can correct it.
I don't know. I know I've got like a couple comments, but they're good comments. And I know a customer, when you look into your ratings, there's those 4 questions, and they can give you a thumbs up or thumbs down. And then they can also leave a comment. But I've never seen a bad comment. I've only seen good ones. So I'm not sure on the back end. I know DoorDash can exclude bad ratings for reasons that are out of our control, like a restaurant was slow and that caused a late delivery, or the order wasn't completed correctly and they know that's not on us, and somebody rates us a 1 for that, they'll exclude that. But I'm not sure. I think the rating sometimes, the app itself obviously can be very glitchy. It could be slow on responses. Maybe somebody rated you, but the app hasn't caught up with that yet, and it was a good one or a bad one. So the ratings thing, I'm still trying to figure out. And for me, I try to not worry about it too much, because as long as I'm above I want to have a good rating. I want to be a 5.0, right? But at the end of the day, like I haven't seen the difference. Like if I'm a 4.95, if I'm a 4.90, for a while I was a 4.85, like maybe 6 months ago, because I had a couple 1s. I was still getting good offers. I was still giving good customer service when I could. So I try not to think about it too much, because I know obviously some things are out of my control, and a customer might even give me a 1 star, but they did it by mistake. So I try not to think about it too much, if that makes sense.
Right. Well, yeah, and the communication I know is all the deal. I've gotten now into the habit of trying to communicate better on my way instead of after the fact. Is hey, I'm leaving with your food. We'll be in your way. 8 to 10 minutes. Looking forward to your delivery. Blah blah blah. And but anyway, that was just kind of. I don't sweat it too much. I'm just, I guess, like everybody trying to figure that part of the system out, because all my other ratings are good. Of course, other than my acceptance, that's in the 20s and 30s all the time. But other than that, man, that's all I got. I just wanted to call in and say hi, and once again, appreciate what you do. Keep doing what you're doing.
Jim, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Don't forget to get up with me on that conference thing if it goes through, man.
Once we get in the next year and it gets closer, I'll be putting that together and reaching out for sure.
Got you, brother. Hey, man, have a good one, and everybody out there, do your thing.
All right. Thanks, man.
You got it.
All right. You are live with Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Who do we have on the line this evening?
It's your boy, Roy.
What's up, Roy? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How yourself?
I'm chilling, man. What you doing? I know you ain't working. You're probably chilling, right?
No, I'm still watching you right now, man.
What's going on, man? What do you want to talk about tonight?
Let's talk about the thieves.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah. If that tip ain't made for you, you don't take people's tips. That's no different than being a thief.
Yeah.
If you want the tips, go out and DoorDash yourself, or get a job there where you can make tips. It's not their place to take anything that's not theirs.
Yeah.
Regardless of the situation.
So I know you work at Domino's, and you guys don't use any third party, right? It's all you guys, right?
Yeah, it's all us. Yeah, there's no third party.
Yeah. So what would you say to somebody like at Domino's per se? I'm sure I probably know the answer, but you guys have people answering phones, and you got the drivers, you get the people that are making pizzas, you get the manager probably doing maybe a little bit of everything, maybe not, depending on merchant. Let's say, how do you guys treat a tip? Like somebody comes in, they pay cash, right? And they're tipping the person ringing them out, and they throw them a $10 tip for a couple pies, right? Does that tip go to all y'all? Does it go to the person directly that customer service to guests? How does that work there?
Usually it goes from the customer, the worker that served the customer.
Okay, so you guys don't do a tip pool or anything like that?
No. And we also do like that to your car service where you take it out to their car for them.
Yeah.
So if they tip you, you get to keep the tips.
Yeah.
But most of the in-shop people at our store, they also make up for not making tips. They make a higher hourly wage. Sure. So, but for anybody to think that's okay to steal other people's tips, that makes them a thief.
Yeah.
That's no different than stealing it out of your pocket.
So what would you say? So let's say Papa John's. I use this as an example because I experienced this one time with them, I think. Let's say Papa John's, they gave me $10, they kept $10, and the customer tipped $20. What do you think should happen to that particular merchant on the DoorDash app? Should they be fined? Should they be kicked off? Like how do we hold people accountable for that?
Any merchant that's caught stealing should be kicked off immediately. How much money have they cost Dashers? You know what I'm saying? They probably cost Dashers hundreds of thousands of dollars if they continue to steal off every order where there's a decent tip. They should be kicked off. So. Yeah,
I hear you. Yeah, I think so you work in, let me get your opinion on this. So let's say Domino's next year, and I think it'll happen at some point. I don't know when, this is my opinion. At some point, I think Domino's will have to use third party. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. So let's say that happens next year, right? And you're working there, and there's a big order. It's 20 pies. Let's say that's a decent size order. It's 20 pies. It's it's $300 worth of food, and the customer left an $80 tip. And you were working, you and somebody else was making these pies, bagging it up. The customer was calling, real descriptive. Like you had to put a lot of work and energy in it. You had to get some products from another Domino's because you're going out. You guys at the Domino's store put a lot of effort in. Do you think you should get any of that 80, or should all the 80 go to the DoorDash driver?
Nope, all that should go to the driver.
Got it. Okay.
Because like I said, they get paid an extra, higher hourly wage
to do that work.
And that's the job they signed up for. Like you said, we're using our cars. Yeah. We're putting our lives on the line. We're putting our vehicles on the line. There's no reason for them to be able to take any of the tip.
So let me ask you this: Do you think a manager, let's say in that Domino's situation, you guys were busting out these 20 pies, or maybe it's 100 pies, like a big Super Bowl party, right? 100 pies, working a lot. Do you think the manager has a responsibility to do something for you guys, or should you just, it's part of the job?
No, it's a job. We've had orders where there's 50, 60, pies ordered at one time, and the customer tips $60, $70. It all goes straight to the driver. We've never had an issue with our managers trying to, skate tips off large orders. Yeah.
So you think it's probably just a manager that's either greedy and/or is just not knowing how to manage his restaurant, and it's few and far between, or do you think this happens often?
Well, I don't think it's a manager not knowing how to run his shift. I think he's being just shady and being a thief. He knows the deal. If he knows how to manipulate that tablet to take money away from us drivers, he's doing it on purpose. He ain't doing it on accident.
He could be keeping it for himself. I've worked with managers like that.
Exactly, and that just makes him a thief. And they should, every time that and that's one thing DoorDash needs to step up their game. Start checking this stuff. And going through their merchants and looking for that kind of stuff. I saw the one video where the merchant got kicked off, the one with the alcohol. Yeah. But, and that's the way it should be. They should be kicked off.
I agree. I think they should, because it's a violation. Plus, it's what else are they doing, right? If they're doing that, they're probably doing other things too, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. Like not putting all the food in the bag like they're supposed to, where we get docked on that kind of stuff. Yeah. Also, DoorDash can very easily fix that by not allowing them access to the tip. So a lot of that falls on DoorDash. Yeah. So
agreed.
You shouldn't even have access to the tips.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think one of my biggest pet peeves, and one of the issues I think we don't talk about enough, I've mentioned it a few times, but I think one of the biggest issues is the relationship between the DoorDash or any gig app, any gig app, right? But DoorDash specifically and the merchant, it needs to be better. Like there's no accountability, there's no checking, there's no checks and balances, I don't think at least. And it basically ends after they sign up. And now I'm going to get you 20% from that Domino's or Papa John's, and then I'm going to give you this tablet, and then we're done. And then they're just kind of left on their own. And I think that's where some of these issues come up, and there's zero accountability.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. It's like, they just, and that's the six, especially since the whole, cootie syndrome that we've had. They get away with locking these bags down. You can't check the orders. So it's not like they're taking any responsibility. They just give the customer the money back. And then we get the brunt of the situation. And that's not fair to us.
Right.
And I know a lot of restaurants are shady like that. The people have bad attitudes and, and stuff like that. Luckily, I have a good relationship with most of mine that I go to.
Yeah.
But, I've seen some dashers, though, that they're just as bad as the merchants, though. They got the shitty attitudes. They're barking at the people, and so it doesn't help when you're barking it down because now they think we're all the same, and that's ridiculous,
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I've definitely seen some. I think it's a minority, but there are a lot of bad dashers, man. And I think the DoorDash platform is the worst at bringing on anybody. Like if you got a pulse and you got a driver's license, as long as you haven't committed murder, you got a car, you can be on the app. Like literally, and it's. I had a friend of mine, a good guy. He's a professor at a local college, like good guy, family guy. Got on DoorDash because he needed to make a little extra money. He was dashing like the next day. There should be a little bit more of a turnaround, like what I'm saying. Like there's a little bit more of a checks and balances, a little more accountability, a little more choosy. There's just too many people out here doing this work, and when you have such a big pool, you're going to have some idiots doing it as well.
Yeah. Well, I know when I signed up for Dash, I was approved the same day. So it's all good.
Yeah.
But also I think a lot of it is because DoorDash is paying so little. So many people have signed up to do this, and this is what they're relying on as their income. So I see where the attitudes are coming because they're being forced to take this shit that they don't want to take. And that's why I'm such an advocate about if it ain't working for you, then you need to get out of the deal. You need to sign up. Go find something else that works for you because these ones that are being forced because they're financially strapped, having to take these orders, that's giving them the bad attitude. They're passing it on to the merchants, which then pass it on to us. So that's why I'm a big advocate. If it ain't working for you, or you have to struggle every day to make $100 or whatever it is you need to pay your bills, you need to find something else. So that's why I'm a big advocate of not doing gig work. If you don't have to, if you can find something to pay your bills, but you don't need to do gig work, do something else because that's the one thing I love delivering. I love delivering. I really do hate DoorDash. I'm going to tell you right now, I hate doing it, but I do it because I love delivering, and that's why I have a delivery job. So at Domino's right now, I'm averaging $20 to $25 an hour at Domino's. So you can make good money doing other delivery jobs. You don't have to stick with just DoorDash.
No, I think you're right. We definitely agree upon that 100%. And I think that that's why I sometimes have an issue. I try to have empathy and things, but like when I hear people talk about I can't do this, I'm not making money, or this app sucks, it's like at the end of the day, I kind of feel like we got to take personal responsibility because there is money to be made out here. Everybody's hiring. Find the app that works for you. Figure it out. I think we spend a lot of energy complaining. I do it myself. I'm guilty of it. Okay, I'll raise my hand. I complain, but I also kind of try to snap out of it and be like, hey, I gotta make my money, right? I gotta figure it out. And if that means adding Instacart, doing more Uber Eats, that means having another hustle, a vending machine, like whatever it is, I'm gonna figure it out because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna let these apps dictate what I'm gonna make. Like I can dictate what I'm gonna make,
Yeah, and exactly. And I understand the whole bitching part too because like you said, we all do it.
Everybody does.
When you're constantly bitching for a year straight and you haven't bothered to do nothing for yourself, at that point, I lose sympathy for you because if you have the means and the ability to find something else that works for you, but you'd rather sit and bitch for a full year or year and a half or the whole time you're doing it, then I have no sympathy at that point. You lose my sympathy. I can sympathize to a point, but at the same time, like my situation, being homeless, living in my car, I went out, I got 2 part-time jobs, so I didn't have to live in my car no more. So there's no excuses to bitch about something, doing something for a full year or whatever when you have the ability to move on and find something better for yourself.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think most people can. I think there are some situations where you're going to have somebody that, for some people it's harder to move on, right? Maybe you're a single mom or you're this or you're that. You don't have a support system. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you're like a single guy, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think there are some situations where, other people have roadblocks possibly, but at the end of the day, like, most of us, I don't think fall into that. I think we have enough time to kind of figure out something. Everybody's hiring. If that means you got to wake up at 5 a.m. to go job searching, hey, that's what you got to do, right? If it means you got to stay out a little bit, that's what you got to do. So I just think too many people aren't at this point aren't willing to put in that time and effort to figure out what it is in their market that can make them money.
Yeah. Well, not only that, it's like right now, that's one of everybody's, main reason is the freedom to do whatever they want. The job market right now is so booming, you can pretty much dictate your hours at any job right now because they're looking for people and they just want people. So, to sit there and say you can't work around a different kind of schedule, I think it's just an excuse because, like I said, Domino's. I work at Domino's. I made it clear when I started working with Domino's, I can work from 4 to 10, and because I had my other job, Jimmy John's, from 10 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. And they'll work with you. That's the thing. People don't think they'll work with you, but they will.
No, they will. I think in closing, Roy, what I would say is I would definitely agree with you because I used to hire and fire people in my previous life. And the one thing people don't understand about a job interview is a good one goes both ways. So if I'm interviewing somebody, they're actually also interviewing me, and they should be asking questions. And now, like the employee or the person in the interview, not the interviewer, has all the power because they need everybody, right? So like you just said, if somebody tells me I'm a manager at Domino's, hey, I can work 4 to 10. Okay. If I like you, I'm going to take it, right? Because I need bodies, right? Yeah, and not enough people understand that. They're thinking, oh, well, these are the hours. No, everything's negotiable, especially in a business setting. And we got to be willing to ask for certain things at that interview. And you should be interviewing the job as well because you're going to give them your time, right? So it goes both ways, Yeah,
and exactly. And you never know when your situation is going to change. Let's say you take the part-time job. You tell them, hey, I can work from here to here. They say, cool. You get in. That puts you in the door. So maybe later on when your situation changes, you can increase your hours. You can move up to management. That's the thing. People just think that they only think one-sided, like, oh, I just don't want to work for a boss. You can become a boss. You don't have to just stick at that entry-ass level. Once you get your foot in the door, you can move on up if you want to move up. And that's what people need to think. Everybody's living right now for the moment and not looking into their futures. And that's the problem, too.
Yeah, and I think it's easy to live in a moment when we're doing these apps because, you get the fast money. You make maybe $100, $200. It's like, ooh, it's good. But you gotta think about, all right, 6 months from now, a year from now. And, we got to be more forward thinking. But, hey, bro, I appreciate you calling in, man.
And society hasn't helped either because right now we feel sorry for everybody to make an excuse. They want to blame it on everything else instead of taking personal responsibility. And we as a society need to get away from that. We need to start holding these people personally responsible. Especially these DoorDash drivers that want to be gross. If I took a picture, I put it of some Uber Eats driver picking their feet while they were waiting on their order. That's just nasty shit. And anybody in this room, I hope if you see people doing stupid shit like that you say something, man, because they're a direct image of what people think of you. So, don't be afraid to step up to these people and say, hey, you're being fucking gross, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
Start teaching. Us people that have the experience, we need to teach these younger cats. You know what I'm saying? These younger cats are just thrown out there. They're doing whatever. I think as older, that's what's good about some of these channels is that you give your experience. You need to fucking teach these people the right way instead of just, it's all about the money. It's all about the money.
No, we got to, if you want to do this, you can make a living doing it and it can be sustainable, but you got to be courteous and customer service and you can't be an idiot. And I think the guy, I saw that video that you did put up or the little clip, the guy picking his feet with his sandals, he's sitting down like that's nasty and that will catch up to him at some point. You know what I mean? And he just doesn't care though. He doesn't care.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the whole I don't care because I think I'm the boss. They all think that I'm the boss syndrome, so they can just do whatever they want. And, when they do get deactivated for some gross or stupid like that, then they're crying.
Yeah.
So instead of taking it like a serious business.
Yeah, I hear you. Appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you.
I'm going to let you go. Oh, once again, happy birthday. I'm going to let you go so you can get some of these other peeps in here.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks, Roy. Thanks.
And like I said, happy birthday and have a good holiday if we don't talk before then.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, boss. Have a
All
good night, man. Bye.
All right, the next call. Who do we have on the line tonight with Pedro DoorDash Santiago?
Hey, Pedro, it's Matt. How you doing? Happy birthday.
Matt, thanks, man. Appreciate that. How you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good. I got a strange one for you. I got deactivated on Thursday.
Uh-huh.
And then I got reactivated on Saturday. And then I got deactivated again on Saturday.
Hold on. Of this week?
Yeah.
So they deactivated you Thursday. You got reactivated Saturday. And then that same day, they re-deactivated you.
Yeah. And each time, okay, so Thursday, I went out dashing. The first one I accepted, I hit the accept button. And then boom, I got an email saying you've been deactivated. And in the email it says you didn't deliver one of the meals you got reported.
Mm-hmm.
Fraud.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is bull. And I was just legitimately mad. So I filed the appeal, and who knows how long appeals take. And then I got reactivated Saturday. I'm like, yeah, I'm back. I'm doing this. And then as soon as I accept, I was sitting there, canceling orders. I'd take like 10 of them. And then the first one I accept, hit the accept button, boom, got an email. I'm deactivated again. So I'm still deactivated right now. I filed another appeal. I talked to their level 2 support people. But yeah, I just wanted to put this out there in case anyone else is having the issue because it's insane.
It is. So within a week, you got two, if I heard it right, you got 2 different violations for food not being delivered. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow. And both times, obviously, you delivered the food.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's some kind of glitch when as soon as I accept a delivery is happening.
Odd. So what did support say? You said you contacted them via email or did you call them or?
Yeah, on that second one, I realized there was some bug because of the relationship to that me just accepting the order. So I got to some level 2 guy on the phone, and he said he was going to do whatever he could, but I needed to file another appeal. So I filed that appeal about 24 hours ago, and I'm still waiting to hear back.
Man, I'm sorry that happened. Hopefully you get back on. Do you have another app like to make money as far as like delivery?
Oh yeah, I've been doing Uber Eats. I've been focusing on a challenge on there, but I just wanted because I felt kind of like pretty pissed the first time. So if anybody else got deactivated, I just wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, I appreciate you sharing that. And I think I've definitely heard I've heard other deactivation stories. Not like that though. That seems very different. It seems definitely glitchy. How long have you been on DoorDash, if you don't mind me asking?
Like 7 or 8 months.
Okay. Wow. Do you do gig apps full-time or part-time?
Part-time.
Part-time. Okay. Which do you like, Uber Eats or DoorDash more? If everything, if you're on both of them, which in your market is better?
Well, I think everybody says the same thing. There's more DoorDashes, but generally the Uber Eats pay better when you get them.
Yeah. No, in my market for sure. I probably if I get, 15 offers an hour from DoorDash, I might get maybe 2 or 3 on Uber Eats. You know what I mean? That's kind of the ratio for me.
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Yeah. Man, crazy. So can I ask you your opinion on one of the topics tonight while I got you on the line?
Yeah.
So
I just don't understand why they even have access to the tips. That doesn't make sense at all. Like, why even have them have access?
Well, I think it's from what I understand, okay, from the things I've seen, the emails I've gotten, and small amount of research I've done, okay? It's only when the order is placed not through DoorDash directly. It's when it's placed through the merchant's website, and then they use the third-party delivery tablet to dispatch it, so they can dispatch it. So the Papa John's gets an order. I just use it as an example, right? They get an order, it's a $20 tip, and it came through on their phone or their website. And then it comes through on their tablet. Then they grab the DoorDash tablet or Uber Eats or Grubhub, whatever, and then they go to dispatch that order, and there's a line in there, and some of the merchants, not all, where there's a tip line. It'll have like the name, the tip line, the destination, the address. They put all this information in, and on that tip line, because their website or their server already got the money from the customer, right? So then on that tip line, they can put in the tip that they want. So it's kind of on the back end. They're just using DoorDash's software, but the order was never placed through DoorDash.
Right, they've got too many orders, and the regular drivers can't take it, so they're just
Yeah.
throwing it off to. Wow, okay. Wow.
So they're using
that
it,
sucks.
and they have a partnership with DoorDash or Uber or Grubhub, and to use them as a third party, right? And they can manipulate at times. It seems like it doesn't happen often, but it's definitely happening, and some people are getting caught and whatnot. So it's kind of odd, but it's definitely happening.
Yeah, I saw your video where the guy talked to the other guy, and they put 2 and 2 together. I was like, what?
Yeah, so that story was funny. It was sent to me by somebody, but basically the driver, and I don't know the amount of the order, but the guy tipped $19.59. So it's alcohol, probably maybe a couple $100 worth of alcohol, maybe a couple cases of wine, right? So the driver drops it off, and he basically tells him, "Hey, man, you only left me a $4 tip. What's up?" Which is kind of ballsy to do, right? But he did it. And the customer was like, "Oh, I tipped you $19.59. What do you mean?" And he showed him the phone. "Oh, I only see $4." And that's how it got started. So that I imagine the driver probably said that to him. It was mad because it was probably maybe a heavy case or long miles. And he's like, "Really, you tipped me $4, but you spent a couple $100." And that's how that story kind of came up. And then it went on Twitter and it kind of blew up. And then Drizzly and DoorDash both responded. And apparently the merchant got kicked off the DoorDash app. They can't use them as a third party anymore because they were manipulating the tips.
Yeah, I mean, you're just leaving it up to the merchant to be truthful. And
yeah,
we know
how that goes, right? But it's kind of like the blind leading the blind because DoorDash hides tips and they're not truthful. But then, so should we really expect them to hold somebody else accountable? It's kind of funny if you think about it. It's ironic,
Yeah, I hate the whole hiding tips stuff. It's just, come on, just show us what we're going to get.
It's so stupid. I mean, I will say this. It's silly. I understand why they're silly and why they do it because they're playing games. And, but for me, I figured out how to find them. So I don't take like too much offense to it. But I do think it's stupid because like a lot of people like out there are taking these bad orders. Or the customer really, if I'm a customer and I leave a $20 tip on my McDonald's order and I expect it to get here quick, but it comes slow because DoorDash only showed that they left $4, I'm upset as a customer. You know what I'm saying? Because I tipped really well so I can get my food quickly. And that doesn't always happen when they hide tips. Yeah, it's crazy. Matt, I appreciate you calling in, man. Anything else you want to say before I let you go?
No, man. Happy birthday. Have a good one. Appreciate it.
Hey, man. Good luck. I hope you get back on there, brother. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Man, these deactivate. Listen, I got to knock on some wood. I mean, if I got deactivated tomorrow, like, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but I'd be upset. Taking money out of my pockets, I'd have to do more Uber, more other things, right? But it sucks, man. It definitely sucks. All right, let's take this next call. You are live with Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Who do we have on the line tonight?
This is Mike from the 813.
Mike from the 813 Tampa in the house. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What do you got going on, man? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I got a list, so just cut me off when you want, but I'll make it real quick. But,
all right,
I just started 2 weeks ago, DoorDash, Uber Eats. I've been kind of leaving Uber Eats alone a little bit and just staying on DoorDash, and I can make all that I want to make on DoorDash. And I went from an 80, and I guess when you first start up, they make you a top dasher because that's what they call me.
Okay.
And I went from 80% rating to 37. But that's just because I'm throwing all the bad orders out. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, you're going to start off your percentage. When you start.
I'm going for $2, $3. Like when I came in tonight, I ended about 10, 9:30 Eastern time, our time, and I got a $2 7-Eleven. I wouldn't touch that, for anything.
You're not making any money. You're not making any money on that.
No, absolutely not. Look at the gas. So, and then the other thing, do they in your area give $5, surges a lot in your area for DoorDash?
I've seen $5 a couple times, and usually it's when it's snowing outside, I've seen.
We got it raining. I went out and picked up my dinner and came back, and then I saw it, and I said, well, I'll get out in it. The rain's let up, so I went out, had an excellent night, but it was $5, and that's the only reason I went out. So yeah, that was pretty.
Sometimes what I've seen in my market, now everything we share is market specific, obviously, right? Sometimes with peak pay, I've learned. So I used to chase it. Like, I have several zones in my city. I'm a really densely populated, kind of a larger city in St. Louis. And I used to chase it. So I'd see, let's say, 20 miles away, I'd see a $3 peak or $4 peak. I'd drive there. And I never made money because drivers go to those areas, right? So for me, sometimes peak pay works at a disadvantage for me because it brings out maybe everybody and it's too many dashers and it's slow. So I like what happened with me. I like the peak pay that just kind of happens. Because maybe there's not enough dashers, the algorithm knows it, so they add $1 here, maybe $2, and it's like unexpected. I really like those, but $5, I don't see that often in my market anymore. Last February of this year, when we had a bad snow for a couple of days, I saw a $10 peak pay for like a couple hours. That was fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's going to happen maybe once, twice a year, maybe.
Yeah,
but it'll happen.
Hopefully they'll do it when the weather's bad here. And when I say weather bad, all it does is rain. You're
going to get rain. Yeah.
And it was raining all day. But the other thing I wanted to go real quick is the Upside app. The gas app to me is garbage.
Oh, why do you say that?
The first time I did it, I got 55 cents back a gallon. Great. The second time I did it, I got 25 cents back. Yeah. And now from now on, they only give you 3 cents back. So I can go to, so in other words, I'm getting for $3.17 a gallon or $3.10 a gallon. I just looked it up tonight. I'm getting 3 cents back. I went to a station tonight and paid $2.97. You can do the math. It's just not.
Yeah,
maybe your area is better. And then the other real quick topic I want to ask you about is Walmart orders. I have not done any, but while I was picking up my dinner the Friday night or Friday afternoon, the Walmart orders, I turned the Uber Eats app on, and they just flew by me. I mean, $10 and $15 orders, but it says on there plus tip. So does that mean the customer is going to probably tip you, or have they already tipped?
Are you meaning on Uber or DoorDash?
Uber.
Okay. I have never done an Uber Eats Walmart. I've gotten some, and they've all been really low payouts. I do know, from what I understand, this for the holiday season coming up, they're going to see a lot of Walmart orders because the holiday season, these Black Friday deals. And on some of the orders, the customer can't tip. The option isn't able to tip until after they get delivery. So my advice is you got to be really choosy. Look at your miles, look at your money to ratio, whatever that is for you in your market, $1, $1.52, $2.50. And I would not bank on a tip afterwards, because what I have found is most people, unless it's like a large grocery order, aren't going to tip you because they don't even know that that's coming from Uber or DoorDash. I think it's coming from Walmart or Amazon or UPS. So they don't tip those drivers. So I would not expect tips. I would look at it as face value, and if you get a tip on it, that's just a bonus. But I don't think it's going to be normal.
Yeah, I might try one or two of them, because they bring it out to you. It's really easy. I wouldn't even have got out in the rain had I did it. But, I might try one just for the heck of it to see, but I won't take it anymore. I try not to in my zone. I don't take anything past 5 miles. Yeah, I mean, that's how huge my area is. It's an awesome area. Yeah. And, so that's the way I'm looking at that. And I wanted to tell you, I got approved for Amazon Flex. I haven't tried it. The warehouse is right down the road from me, not too far. So I'll let you know if I do it and if I try it. Yeah. But, it's just something I wanted to throw in there.
Well, I think it's really good to try a Walmart, because they might be really good in your market, right? You should always try things, and if you don't like it, that's fine. But maybe you hit it and it's good. Maybe you try Amazon Flex and it works really well for you. Like, each market's going to be different depending on demographic, size, ordering, what people like to order, So I think you're on the right pace for sure.
Okay, and another thing I want to ask you, this is something I'm real curious. Let's say I'm kind of like you. I only like, 100. I don't, really need the money, but I just enjoy the work and keeping my brain moving and going and my mind moving. So, I just go for $100 a day. I know I can make 200 easy. I make more than 100 a day. But what is your tip to ratio there? Say I do $100, $50 of that is tip. Our tips here are really good. I mean, I get $10, $12 tips. Every order just about gives me $5.
So I'll you know what? I'll do this live with you. I'll go into my Dasher app and I'll tell you right now this past week what my tip breakdown was on DoorDash. Okay. So
yeah, see, a lot of people don't talk about that, but I think that's important. Man, if you're getting good money in tips, you don't have to have that many deliveries. That many trips,
so right now, on DoorDash this week I made $544. Now I did that and I did Uber. So, but DoorDash made $544.95 on 18 hours of work, and my DoorDash pay. So what DoorDash paid me for base pay was $197.25. And my customer tips was $334.34. So for me, it's always way more because I know how to be selective. I know how to find the tips, and I don't deliver to people that don't tip most of the time unless they sneak a crazy one in. But it's always basically almost double typically for me.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Okay. No, that's good. That's good. I mean, I'm happy with half of it, and sometimes some days I do get more than half. But that's really good. But I'm not really hustling. I'm just out there.
Yeah. You're kind of casually dashing, and you enjoy it, and you like, it keeps you fresh, it keeps you moving, keeps you grooving. Sounds like.
Yeah. And how do you? I've done this one time, but how do you turn the Uber Eats app on, and then I turn DoorDash on, and then if you start working with Uber Eats, you just have to keep turning down your DoorDash orders. Is that right? Is that bad or is that good? I mean,
that's what I do, but I leave them all on. But I'll be completely transparent with you, and I've talked about this in videos. I know my market very, very well, and for the ones that know it really well, I will take an Uber and DoorDash at the same time if it's going in the same direction. So I'll give you a quick scenario. Papa John's, it's going 1.2 miles. It's $8. I get to Papa John's, my Uber's on, and they send me another Papa John's on Uber, and it's going 1 mile in the same direction. I will take both of those. I don't recommend that for people that are new or if you don't know your side streets and things like that. But that's how I maximize my time is I keep both on. And if I'm going somewhere that is like a long trip, maybe if it's 5-6 miles, then I might pause or turn off the other one because I realize I can't really accept anything because it might be like a 15-minute drive. But I keep them all on at the same time. So.
And then another thing is so interesting about this job. You get to see, restaurants that you've never been in or never seen. I found an Italian restaurant that I picked up an order in, very clean. The smell was just delicious.
Yeah.
So I went back there, ordered me some manicotti, better than Carrabba's, better than I have ever had. And that's just another small perk that a lot of people don't think about. You get to go in places because I'm real particular about being clean. Because I had a restaurant and a bar. And I'll share real quick with you my 50th birthday was at my bar. I had a live band, probably 300 people showed up.
Nice.
And it was great. That was my 50th birthday at my bar and my restaurant. But
that sounds like that was
cool.
a phenomenal night. Yeah.
It was awesome. It was. I mean, we didn't have live bands much, but we had my favorite live band then. But I wanted to say happy birthday to you, and
appreciate that.
I see videos every day.
Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate the love from the 813, my friend. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. And you take care, buddy.
You too, man. Thank you.
See you.
All right. My girlfriend's in the kitchen. If you can hear the water and the plates, say hi.
Hi.
She says hello, everybody. Her name's Madison. She is a doll. She just gave me crazy. What do you mean? Yeah, of course you are. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We got somebody calling in. I'm going to get on the live chat with you guys for a minute because I don't want to ignore y'all. So let's see what we got going on. I saw Dash and Grandpa in here. Let's see what we got. Rebecca. We got Jespin 401. Paulina G says hi. Madison.
Hello.
Honey Chick Forever 2. Okay, that's Dash and Grandpa. Pia, what up, what up? Trey, what up? Soldier 898. Michael O. Got Marty still in the house. We got Jacob. Roy Ruby Roy still in the house. Eric, Cheryl. We got Bud Soda in the house still. Bud, you still working, bro? Be safe, man. Eric, N.E. Dasher. N.E. Is that New England? I like Walmart orders. So market specific. I don't like Walmart orders, but I'll do them if like all the stars align, the miles are right. If I'm bored, I'll do them. But you got to know your market. That's the biggest thing I can say to anybody. Like, don't listen to me. My tips and tricks, like most of them are going to be good for a lot of markets. But at the end of the day, you got to do the work. You got to learn your market, make mistakes, be willing to take some risks, and figure out what your market is good at. What app works good, what merchants are good. Maybe your Wendy's is good. My Wendy's is trash. Maybe your Walmart's good. My Walmart's are trash. You got to just be willing to learn your market and do the work. Do breakfast, do lunch, do dinner, do late night if you can, right, based on your schedule. And figure out what time is good, what days are good, and what days do you not want to work, because you can't work 7 days a week. You can, but you shouldn't. Unless you got dire needs, you got to take a day off at least for yourself, for your family, for your mental health, for you can sleep in, so you can relax, you can go catch a show, like whatever it is, right? You got to know your market. It's the number one thing I can say to anybody. Okay. Hannibal's hung in the house. What up, bro? Any dash are always slower when peak. Usually, I don't like peak pay. Like I treat it as a bonus. I don't ever compromise the orders I'm going to take just because there's a peak pay. I'll give you a quick example. If there's a $3 peak pay and my base pay is $2.25, if there's a $3 peak and I get a $5.25 order going a mile, I do not take that order. I try no tip, no trip. I believe in it. My prerogative. I can do that. And why would I take that order when I should just wait for the next order that's probably going to be $8.25? That's how I look at it. Peak pay is designed to have you take the bad orders, right? I'm still not taking that order. It's just, I don't know what you guys do, but I'm not gonna waste time on that $5.25 when I can be patient and get an $8, $9, $10, $11 order. So Madeline, what up? Jacob, what up? Wish is in the house. All right, so let's take this next call. We got one coming in right now. Hello. You are live with Pedro Dorda Santiago. Who do we have on the line tonight?
Tina D.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Tina D.
How are you?
I am good. Tina J's in the background.
Hello. What do you guys What do you guys got going on? What do you want to talk about?
Your first topic.
Let's get into it.
I am sorry, but you chose to work the W-2 job. Therefore, you chose to get a paycheck and get paid per hour. If the customer offers that, it is offered to the person dropping it off.
Got it.
We have a whole bunch more expenses than the person in the restaurant.
Very true. They literally have only the gas money to get to work, right?
Yes. And I actually brought up to McAllister's. I watched a girl take a tip from a customer and put it straight in her pocket. And I walked up and I asked her, after the customer left, I said, why doesn't that go in a jar for everybody or go to the cook? And could you just put that in your pocket? She acted like she didn't hear me. She just walked away.
Wow.
And I was like, it just made me think of, the topic that you brought up.
Yeah, I think I worked in restaurants for a long time, and I know cooks make an hourly wage, and tips aren't usually shared with cooks. And on a rare occasion, sometimes somebody might say, hey, give this to the cook because the steak was good or something. But like most of the time, the front of house will keep the tips for themselves because that's just how the tip pool works. And sometimes they'll share them or, tips are such a merchant specific thing sometimes because sometimes, I did work at one of the casinos I worked at. One of the merchants, the cooks did get the tips, but that was really rare, right? So it's just so odd. Like tips is such a funny thing to me, but I do think that I understand why some of the merchants might get upset that the dashers are getting all the money, but we deserve that money, right? Like we're the ones actually doing the risky work and putting our, cars out there and the wear and tear and the gas, and we're delivering the actual food where they're sitting in the restaurant and they're like enclosed and they're just bagging it up. So I think it's interesting though, because I think I see some of the points on both sides, but at the end of the day, they shouldn't be stealing tips, because that's designed for the driver, right? If I'm a customer tipping, all that tip should go to the driver.
Now, I completely agree with that. You were, where are you coming in Virginia, by the way?
We're going to, my girlfriend just left. She's in another room. I know it's 13 hours away. I just booked we're going to drive halfway. We're going to get to.
Is it near the North Carolina border?
It's closer to. Hey, babe. I'll text her. I can't remember. I have no idea. It's somewhere in Virginia. It's 13 hours away. We're going to go for about a week almost because we're going to do Thanksgiving. Hey, babe. What part of Virginia are we going to?
Newport News.
Newport News is where we're going.
See, that's like 2.5 hours away. We could come take you out, you and your girl out for a drink.
Uh-oh. We got the baby, too, so you got to buy her some milk or something.
We can buy all the way.
We can connect. I don't know what kind of schedule we have. I think we're there for, 3 days? 3 days. I think we're there for 3 days.
We get there Wednesday night and we leave Friday.
We get there Wednesday, we're there Friday. So we can talk offline. How about that?
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
See, that's not a full week. That was a fib.
No, but I'm taking the week off. Yeah, I thought we were going to be there for actually one more day. But so I'm basically taking a week. We're gonna.
Virginia still, but farther away.
Yeah, so we're going to a part of Virginia, then we're driving another 2 hours somewhere else. I think closer to DC, and then we're coming back. But I'm not working for like 8 days. So.
I've done that before. I went to New York first, and then I went to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And I was gone for like 7 or 10 days.
Yeah, I need it. I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna stop halfway. We booked a hotel somewhere in Kentucky last night, and we're basically gonna drive about 7 hours and then do another 6 or so. We don't want to drive with the baby straight 13. We have time. We don't need to push it, but we're looking forward to it. It should be fun.
Okay, and what was the second topic?
So, is your car winter ready? Like, how you feeling about if you're in cold weather? Is your car ready for that?
See, I don't know because I took a mechanic with me to buy the car that I have, and it was obvious he wasn't paying attention because I've fixed a whole bunch. I mean, I've spent more on the car fixing it than I did purchasing it, but I mean, I put a lot of miles on the car delivering. It is an old, not really old, but high mileage clunker car.
Yeah.
And that's what you really want to deliver in anyway.
Yeah.
So you don't kill a newer car.
Yeah.
But next year, I plan on putting a down payment on a car and on a brand new car and taking off and dashing across the map. We talked about coming to visit you for, getting some info on where to dash.
Yeah,
because we want to make our way to Denver, Colorado, and we have to drive right through.
Well, if you drive through St. Louis, definitely hit me up, and that would, you can make some money out here if you're dashing through, but also you can just come say hi. But you definitely got to drive through here if you're going there.
I told Tina Jaya so we could, I want to look at a bed and breakfast. Airbnb. That way you have all the bills for the month in one price. And most of the Airbnbs are fully stocked when you get there, and then you replace what you what you want to use.
In my experience, that's how it's been. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I can travel somewhere for a month and dash for 2 weeks, take 2 weeks off, or if the money's so good, dash 3 weeks, bank it, and take vacation for a week, and then move on to my next area.
I think that's cool. I like that because you're vacationing, you're seeing parts of maybe America you haven't seen, you're experiencing new things, you're also making some money to fund that. I think that's awesome. And actually, in some of the Airbnbs I've stayed at maybe 4 or 5, you don't have to replace much. It just depends on, how you set it up. But a lot of times they're just stocked and then they restock it. You just have to clean up after yourself, maybe pay a cleaning fee. So, it would be dependent upon obviously who you go through. But I will say this, St. Louis, the cost of living here is really good. You can get cheap hotels, cheap Airbnbs compared to a lot of other places in America. So,
well, on the way to Denver, Colorado is right through you, so we can stay there a week or something, and check out your money.
Oh, you got to stop through. You can make good money here. I'm telling you, I'm very, very lucky in that regard for sure. Yeah.
I don't know, but I plan on going places for a month at a time.
I like that. It's a cool idea. We talked about doing like a little, I wouldn't call it like RV or van life, but like taking like a month and like not working and just, renting a van or buying one and going up to the northwest, I guess, like maybe Seattle, Colorado, parts of California, and just road tripping it for like a month. I think that would be fun. We're probably going to do it at some point before Ruby becomes too old. And I'm really looking forward to that. We just haven't like finalized it, but it'll happen probably in the next couple of years. So
do it right before the time she's supposed to enter school, and it'll be perfect.
Yeah, I think before she's 5, before she goes to kindergarten, we'll probably do it. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun. I could probably even do some gig work as I'm driving through. I hitch the car to the bus or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think that would be interesting. You know what I mean? I think that could be fun. So.
All right. Well, I took my time. Here's Tina J.
All right.
Okay. She said she's going to let some other callers.
Sounds good. You guys have a good one, and hope to see you and talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
All right. The Tinas. They have a podcast and a YouTube channel, I believe. Yeah, they have both. I got to get this. Okay. So let's see what we got going on in the chat. Dash and Grandpa, I've done that for a couple of weeks. Yeah, I want to do it, man. Dash and Grandpa, I need to just do it. And typically when I put my mind to something, if I have like a goal or something in mind, like I get it done. And I need to just stop thinking about it and just do it. Either rent it would just be a van. I just need to get a van. And I've thought about even buying a van, fixing it up and having it, and then road tripping, during the summer for a month. Like, I got to really do it. Like, I can do it. I should do it. I just haven't had the guts yet to fulfill that because I got so many other things going on. But I would love to do that. The furthest west I've ever been is Kansas City, which is shameful. And that's only 4 hours from here. I've been to East Coast, South, North. I want to go west and explore a little bit. I think there's great sceneries, camps, trails, beaches out in LA, I guess. I gotta get it done. Got to. All right, so let's see. Tons of channels that I've subbed to on my other channel. Oh, I didn't know you had 2 channels, Jason Grandpa. Come to Texas. Rebecca, I've been to Texas a couple times. I've been to Houston, San Antonio, and Gonzales, Texas. All right, phone lines are open. We will take the next call. Topics of the night. Should portions of tips go to merchants and dashers? Second one, are you ready? Is your car winter ready if you're going to be in an inclement city or town? How do you deal with stress? You get anxiety, frustrated, you're dashing. How do you deal with it? And then the fourth topic is birthday moment. Share a fun birthday moment with us, as you call it. All right, let's take this next call. You are live with Pedro Duda Santiago. Who do we have on the line tonight?
Hey, Pedro, how's it going? This is Slavic from Kentucky.
Slavic, how are you, my friend?
Good. Actually, better than it was yesterday.
You said better than yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Yesterday I had a crazy night.
What happened, man?
I did an order, and just the game ended, so everybody's pouring out of downtown. So it took me like 20 minutes just to make a left turn.
Was it like the college football game, or what was it?
Yeah, it was actually a state game.
Oh, okay.
So what they actually do here is in Lexington, they'll actually open all the lights green going out from the game, and I'm talking about 5 miles out into the town. And you cannot make a left turn. You cannot actually cross the street. Those lanes.
Wow.
Because traffic is just nonstop, like on a freeway.
Yeah. Wow. And that's not like a big city, but it's it's got a little bit of urban area to it, right?
Oh yeah, that stadium is huge.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So in 20 minutes I finally broke through, pulled out the starts with T. I'm not gonna say your name. And I pull up in the drive-in. There's like 30 cars in front of me.
Wow.
So I'm like, in this case, maybe they can open the lobby. So I pull up to the lobby. Doors closed. So I pull up to a guy in the drive-in and say, "Hey, I'll give you $5 if you can let me come in front of you."
I only laugh, Slavic, because I've literally, when I was doing an Instacart the other day, the line was so long, and I thought I didn't have any cash on me, but I thought, man, if I had $5 or $10 on me, I would literally say, "Here, can I butt you in line?" That's funny.
So the guy said, $5, sure, that's gonna pay my order. So as I'm pulling out to the teller, I get a second order. About 2 minutes before the teller. Actually, on my channel, you can find the video. At the end of the video, I actually have the full recording that I posted.
Okay. What's your channel? What's the channel name again?
Give me a minute. It's hey, if you go to DoorDash.slavict.com, it will take you to my DoorDash playlist.
Okay, got it.
And
okay.
And the video that I uploaded about, I don't know.
I'll check it out later for sure.
Hours ago or so.
Cool.
So where are we last? So I pull up to the window and I say, DoorDash, I have 2 orders, and the guy said, you can only place 1 order, and then you have to drive through again, get in the back of the line, and then put in your second order.
What?
And exactly, that was my response. Like, what?
Oh, no.
So, I'm like, under what terms and conditions with DoorDash are you telling me to do that? And
yes.
he's like, and he's silent. I'm like, hey, I'm going to file a complaint.
Yeah.
This is a complaint-worthy situation. And honestly, I'm the kind of a guy, if I don't see something done fairly, I will find somehow to get that report. If the DoorDash, I actually here in town reported at Walmart. First time DoorDash refused to pick up the complaint. Second time they pick up the complaint. Third time, I got really pissed. They paid for the mistake that Walmart did to me, as well as the next day I picked up a Walmart order. Walmart did it exactly as they were supposed to. Well, they were telling us we have to go in and pick up the order. They were refusing to bring it out. So for 4 years, Dashers were going inside where they were not supposed to. Until I got up to it and I said, this has to stop.
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to be willing to say something if you want to see change, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think you got to pick your battles, right? We can't fight everything, but I think there's some things that are worth fighting for.
So, get back to the story. The guy, said, didn't file a complaint. I would say, great. But I'll do so. But, hey, I am not moving from drive-thru until you take both of the orders.
Yeah, no, you can sit there. Yeah, I'm gonna park the car, and you're gonna give me both orders.
He said he's gonna call me. Let's call cops for nuisance. I have no even clue what nuisance is.
Oh wow, that's what he said, nuisance.
Yeah, he's gonna call the cops and report him for nuisance.
He can't. I mean, if he called the cops, that would definitely be escalating a situation that doesn't need to be escalated. He would just hand you the tacos and let you go on your way.
So, great, and I'm going to tell you you're refusing to service your customer. And then she comes back and says, you know what, either you listen to me or get done, and I'm skipping the word, out of my driveway.
So, did they give you both? Did they give you both orders or not?
No, when she told that, I just peeled out of that.
Man.
I pulled around, parked in the driveway, called up the DoorDash, and I said, they're refusing to kick me out. DoorDash paid me for 4 orders, and they said they'll refund the customers. And one of the customers I was chatting with, and as soon as they canceled that order, I was no longer been able to even get hold of the customer, let him know what happened. Yeah, no.
Once they cancel it, I would have just left. But you know what? I'm not dealing with this. I'll go on to the next one. But if I see a line with 30 cars, I lose my mind. I immediately would just unassign it. I just unassign it.
One of those orders were $60.
How much?
And $60 without hidden tip.
You said 6? Hold up, 60 or 16?
60.
Oh,
60.
Wow. Okay, I'll stay for that.
An order that they were refusing. But again, I never told them the orders I had.
That's crazy.
I never told them the names of the orders, so I don't understand why they refused.
That's crazy. Well, it sounds like they were obviously busy, number one, and they're stressed out. They're understaffed probably, and, they're just not feeling great about what they got to do right now, and they're going to make it harder on us. And I think some merchants do that because they're stretched thin and they don't know how to communicate effectively. And, that situation could be handled a lot differently. And actually, they spent more time on the situation than if they would have said, hey, who you got? All right, you got 2. All right, we're a little bit busy. Come through. We'll be with you 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is. And it would have been done. But because they didn't know how to communicate, it wound up being what it was.
And I agree with you. And here's, something else that I kind of noticed, and this kind of led me to noticing this. I switched areas dashing. I used to dash about 20 miles away. Right now I drive 50 miles one way just to dash. And the market is a lot better.
You said 50 or 15?
5-0.
5-0. Oh, that's a commitment for sure.
Hey, I need to see the family.
Yeah, okay.
Here I kind of dropped to where I'm making about for a day $30-40.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about 12-hour day.
Yeah.
Where now I go to Lexington and for 12 hours I bring in about 180 to 200.
Mm-hmm.
So big difference.
That's a huge difference. Yeah.
So something I noticed in Lexington that I have not noticed where I used to dash is I got an order. The client put in Lexington instead of another town that is 2 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
I get that order. I come to the address. The address doesn't exist even. I call the DoorDash. I call the customer. She said, "Oh, you have to go to this town." I'm like, "I'm not driving for 2 hours."
That's crazy.
So I called the DoorDash and they handled it. They said, "Keep the food." I took that sandwich and that sandwich was ice cold. So, I ate it because I was hungry.
Yeah.
But after that, I started picking up sandwiches from drive-thrus, and I started putting them in my hand and kind of holding them and seeing, what kind of inner temperature is inside the bag. Majority of these sandwiches are cold.
And they're supposed to be hot sandwiches.
They're supposed to be hot sandwiches. That's right.
Okay.
But one sandwich that I got yesterday, right after this taco situation, I go into another one, and it has freezer ice on it. The freezing thing on it.
Yeah.
And she gives it to me, and I'm like, "What is this?" She closed the door and walks away. I think restaurants are starting a battle with DoorDash.
On purpose?
On purpose.
No way. You think so?
I think so. Why would that sandwich be pulled out of a freezer?
So hold on. Well, I will say this. Working in restaurants for a while and managing them, I think that there are sometimes circumstances that we might not understand or agree with, but there could be something happening there we don't know about. For example, maybe the customer wanted it that way. Maybe it was a frozen sandwich and they ordered it that way and it's supposed to be thawed out for the next day. There are sometimes circumstances that we might not understand, but that could be happening for a particular reason. Like I go back to my Applebee's days. I managed Applebee's, years ago for a long time, right? And we'd have certain customers that would order, let's say, something that would normally be hot, and they'd order it to go. And they would literally ask us, "Hey, can you not cook this? Or don't warm it up yet," like a soup, for example, like a broccoli cheddar soup. And they'd order it cold on purpose because they weren't going to eat it right away. So I could see that, let's say, if you went to go pick that up, you touch it, like, why is this soup cold? Well, we don't know that the customer actually maybe wanted it that way. Now, with a sandwich, it's different because who wants a frozen sandwich? That's silly.
No,
But
I'm talking about the Taco Bell.
Oh, the Taco Bell? Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, the burrito. Well, you freeze a burrito.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I do think there are some orders.
Food was not frozen, but
Yes, yeah. Well, that order could have been sitting there for a long time. And I pick up orders sometimes, and I walk into a restaurant, and if there's one of those pickup shelves and there's a lot of bags, I'm nosy, right? I'll look at the timestamp, like, okay, it's 2:00. Oh, that bag's been there since 11. Oh, that person ain't getting their food. Like, it's been there all day, right? And I think sometimes customers get food really late, and it's going to be cold because none of these places I have yet, maybe a couple, but most of them, they just bag the food, they set it somewhere, and it's not under a heat lamp, it's not in an ice box, it's not in a cabinetry that is kept warm. It's just sitting on a shelf, and it's getting room temperature. And then it becomes cold. Like a burrito is only going to be hot for maybe 5 minutes, So a lot of these places are so overwhelmed with orders, or they don't have the schematic whereabouts to put the stuff and keep it hot or keep it cold. And they're just sitting on a shelf or on a counter, and it might sit there for 30 minutes. And that's all the amount of time food needs to be left out for it to be cold. It's crazy.
It might make sense if it's sitting on one of the vegetable coolers.
Yeah.
That's use them as a holding place.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, and I think a lot of these places There's so many customers ordering food to go nowadays, like never before, right? And it's going to get more and more as the years go by, in my opinion. And these restaurants aren't set up schematically to deliver that food and keep it hot or cold effectively. And they'd have to spend tens of thousands of dollars in equipment and redesigning restaurants. And these places aren't going to do that. They're just going to keep it on a shelf. And a burrito or whatever is going to not be kept at a proper temperature for food safety. And it's a big issue because, I mean, people are getting food and it's not as safe as it should be. But I think a lot of us aren't really thinking about it because we're just delivering it, picking it up. And I think obviously you're noticing it because you're picking up ice cold sandwiches and burritos. Like, that's ridiculous, you know?
Well, I used to be a CEO in the past,
so you get it. Yeah.
Any work I do in my life, from as a CEO or any other work, even as a driving, I even drive for the Uber and Lyft. I always try to bring in something that company can benefit and worth it. That's why some guys might not hate me for it, but I give a lot of feedback to DoorDash based on my CEO opinion out on the road. And tell you guys honestly, the price change that happened.
Yeah.
About 3 months ago, my fault. I already done it before.
What do you mean price? What do you mean price change? Give me a little more story on that.
Where they got the base down for short trips and increased the price for the long trips.
Oh, so hold on, Slavic. Listen. So you're the man I need to be mad at? Is that what you're saying?
I hope you guys are not, but yes.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that? Did you complain?
Oh, I did not complain. I actually threatened to sue them for sending out $225 deliveries on a 15, 20 mile run.
I see. So what you're saying is you thought it was better for them to pay more on the longer runs and less on the shorter runs.
At the time, I was new to DoorDash, where right now I believe DoorDash should do a minimum dollar per mile, minimum tip. Enforcement. So there should be not such a thing as no tip. There should be a minimum, at least $1 a mile minimum.
Yeah.
And then they can get solved some of the issues that we have with the minimum base pay.
Yeah, I think I think it. I mentioned this in a video maybe last week or two. What if the customer? I don't think it makes sense for me because as DoorDash should know, at Dashers, 99.9% Dashers are going to have a miles to money ratio in their market that they're looking for. And they're going to base their offering or their acceptance based on that, right? So I get an offer, $8, 3 miles, boom, automatically I'm going to take it most of the time. But I think that customers that live 15 miles away from a restaurant, they should pay more than a customer that lives a mile away. That's my opinion. Because a customer living 15 miles away, even if they leave a $5 tip on a $20 order, good tip, $20 food, $5 tip, that's appropriate. That order still might not be filled in time because they're 15 miles away. So I feel like that they should be charged more on the delivery fee or whatever. It should go more to the driver to incentivize that order to be picked up. And the person that lives a mile away should pay maybe less than a delivery fee. Still tip, but, because they're only a mile away. Like we have to figure out, like, as a customer, I shouldn't pay the same delivery fee as, if I'm 15 miles away. It just logically, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, when I first started delivering, I started delivering in a rural area, very small town, and 80% of the trips were actually 5, 10, 15 miles. And I lived, in the past, I lived out in the country, and I tell you about 30 miles out in the country.
Yeah.
But I chose to live out there. So if I chose to live out there, my internet's higher, my electricity is higher, everything is higher.
Yep.
Why should my delivery be cheaper?
It should not. It shouldn't be the same. It shouldn't be the same as me.
Yeah. I should pay that lifestyle.
Right.
So so that's kind of where I do not understand that DoorDash refusing, and there's a lot of things they're refusing, but I am pushing, and I got some friends already that I developed on direct dial to them. So I have DoorDash actually watching. Somebody's watching from DoorDash on my channel. It's like my videos.
So I'm going to check your channel out later, and I would like to talk to you offline about some of these things, so we could have a separate conversation, not on YouTube, and maybe put our brains together. So we'll do that soon, my friend.
No, see, this is the way it is. Either it's going to be a DoorDash that's going to dominate the market, or it's going to be somebody else. And either we put our hands together and make it happen, or we'll see this ups and downs. And eventually somebody's going to solve the problem. And somebody's going to come to the table, and they're going to go give it the news, and actually say, hey, we're solving this problem, of course. See, I believe delivery is a luxury, not something like Doris says, hey, we're trying to feed the people. Okay, we understand you're trying to feed people. But the people need to understand that if they decided to stay home, that means they're hiring a driver to do the work that they normally should have been doing.
Yeah.
That means the driver should be getting at least 20 plus an hour after his vehicle expense.
No, it's definitely a luxury. But the issue, Slavic, is if they sold this and marketed the Dash app as a luxury, not as many people would use it, and their market share wouldn't be as big. So they shouldn't, but the reason they're selling it to everybody, and they don't care if people tip, and they want everybody to get everything. They want somebody. I've delivered a pack of gum from Walmart, a single pack of gum. I've delivered candy from 7-Eleven, like a candy bar, one candy bar. Like, they're making it, these apps are making it too easy and making it too lazy and way too convenient. But they're doing it because they want more market share. They want quantity versus quality. They want as many people on the app. They want as many downloaded on people's phones. They want everybody to have the DoorDash app. They want everybody to order. And the bubble's going to burst at some point. But by then, they'll either they'll sell it off to somebody else, like let's say Amazon or whoever. And they don't care because they'll make a lot of people very, very rich. And my thing is, hey, I'm trying to take as much from DoorDash as I can so I could figure out what else I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to make what I can. I know that they're a crappy company with certain things, but I'm going to use it so I could do what I really want later. And I want other people to try to think like that as well, because at some point the bubble will burst, and it's going to happen. It could be 5 years from now. It could be next year. But they are not a quality organization. It's just quantity. And in the quantity is all this money, unfortunately. But, that's how it is. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. And mentality does have to change.
It's going to have to at some point, man. Slavic, hey, I appreciate the phone call. I want to vibe with you. We'll have to connect at some point. I'm going to check your channel out. If I could somehow message you, I'd like to pick your brain about some other things offline. So.
Hey, you have my number? Save it.
Oh, I do have your number. Yeah, so you're right. I'll definitely save it. So I'll be reaching out at some point soon, my friend.
Hey, love to talk to you. Hopefully, won't be dashing at that point.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
All right.
Take care.
Interesting conversation. Okay, so let's check the chat out before we'll take a few more calls. We're only at an hour 43, so delivered or be delayed, and then suggest a tip that would make sure their order was delivered on time. Dad Dash, what up? Lots of Sonics. I don't mess with Sonic in my market. I give a restaurant 3 or 4 opportunities before I take them and put them on my blacklist. Sonic's on my blacklist because the first 2 times I was there, it was a long wait. Then the next 2 times, it was really bad customer service on their end. And I just refused to be talked to a certain way and have people treat me crazy. Nah, I'm good. I'm not going to do it. So I don't do Sonic, and I get a decent amount of orders from there. Even if they pay well, I just don't go. I have I'm a little prideful maybe and a little petty, but if people talk sideways to me and it's not warranted, I'm good. You can keep that energy, give it to the next dasher. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go to that. I'm not doing that. Sonic in my area is really bad. Anyways, Marty says, does everyone have that one fellow dasher in their area? The one who's always impatient and super rude to merchants. Marty, I have a couple. I run into one guy. I see him maybe once or twice a week. It's always at Panera, and he's always standing right at the counter, almost on the other side of the counter, and he's always just got his phone like this, and he's super rude. I have never said anything to him because he's not verbalizing his rudeness, but if he ever does, I might say, hey, dude, you good? Chill out. But Yeah, he comes to my mind. JK, read about some campers built by Amish in Ohio. Might look into those. Yeah, I think I could buy a used one and, refurbish it to fit our needs. Anyways, eventually, for those of you that are just new here, we'll be camping, DoorDash camping across the Northwest. Let's see. Burrito. I have 2 Sonics. It's over 4 hours away from me. An easy way to solve all issues is, this is Dad Dash, an easy way to solve all issues is if all the apps simply put a disclosure when somebody order is less than $1 a month to let them know that the current tip may cause their order to. Yeah, I agree with that. However, what will happen so right now they do on the DoorDash app specifically, and we'll say suggested tip for the amount of effort and distance for the driver. This is a tip. Like, it does say it, but most people don't look at that. And I do think if a customer didn't tip or they didn't tip enough based on their mile ratio, I think the better thing is the order should just not be. It should just say too far away. If I put my address in and it's 15, I think anything more than 10 miles is too far. It's my opinion. You should order from a merchant that's closer. If it's more than 10 miles, I think it's too far. In a really rural place, I think there's some cities maybe you can make exceptions. But in most cities, I think 10 miles is too far for most dashers. And I think if it's beyond that, it should just say, hey, this is too far. You can't get quality food if it's more than 10 miles. Try this restaurant. And maybe a restaurant suggestion should pop up for something similar. But I think that, somebody tipping me $3 for a merchant that's 10 miles away, and that's only if I'm actually in the parking lot. So if I'm 3 miles away from the merchant, I got to drive the 3 miles to the merchant. Then I got to drive 10 miles to the customer. I got to drive 13 miles for $5. That's insanity. Nobody's doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I think I understand what you're saying with that. I think too many customers would not then order at all. And it would be like the DoorDash would lose money, right? So there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. I don't know what it is, but Dad Dash, we got to figure it out, man. I don't know. We got to figure it out. Christopher Taylor, thanks for the $5, man. Don't forget, daylight savings time ends Sunday. No, that was yesterday. Daylight saving time was yesterday, so you're a day late. So we fall back. So yesterday when we slept, we got an extra hour of sleep because when we woke up, it was supposed to be 9 a.m., but it was only 8 a.m., right? Unless, like me, you live in AZ, we don't do it. What do you mean you don't do it in Arizona? I'm confused. Is that not everywhere? Hold on. I thought that was everywhere. Did I just learn something new, Christopher? Thanks for blessing me with that. I thought daylight saving time was everywhere. I had no idea. Call me ignorant. I thought that was everywhere. Nope. Dash and Grandpa says nope. But yeah, Marty says that was last night. Little does Dad know I'm watching him right now. Christopher Payne. Oh, this is not the real Christopher Payne. You're funny, though. Appreciate it. No, DST is not everywhere like Indiana. How did I not know that? I feel like I'm somebody that knows a lot. I just learned something very valuable. I appreciate that. A lot of states actually don't do it. Lauren, I had no idea. I guess it's proximity to what? Different time zones don't do it? Because I'm in the same time zone as Indiana. And we did it yesterday, right? I'm intrigued right now. Or AZ, DST is not everywhere. Son, I wish we didn't, Lauren. I actually, if I'm being honest, I don't like the fall back and spring forward. I don't like it. I have crazy theories about time and how we look at time now. I won't even get into that because, but the way we manipulate time with the clock and stuff like that is not how it should be. I'll just leave it at that. So I'm not a big fan of the spring forward, fall back. Not at all. So Marty says the Sonic subject was me playing devil's advocate about the fact that we don't tip their employees, but they are literally doing the same job for us as every person. Yeah, I get it. But the Sonics that I go to, they have like the girls and boys that have the roller skates and they like bring you and they worked off tips, but I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Yeah, Dash and Grandpa, I agree. Indiana started doing it a couple years ago. I mean, it's all about money, guys. The only reason to fall back and spring forward is monetary. That's it. So it's true, Mary. Oh my God, I'm a newbie and love your videos. Crawley R, what up? Welcome to the channel. We will take. Hold on, the phone lines are still open. All right, I'm missing calls. Let me get back on this live. Let me get back on the calls here. And I'm Lauren. I'm down. I'll show you how to stunt. LOL. Soldier 898 is going to show somebody how to stunt. There is no time. Yeah, listen. The time that we know right now that you and I are living in, and even our grandparents and great grandparents, is completely not how it should have been. That's all I'll say. It's my very humble and slightly ignorant opinion. All right, let's take this next call. You are live with Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Who do we have on the line this evening?
It's Christine from Chicago.
Christy, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. You said Christy, right?
Christine from Chicago. I've commented a couple times.
Yeah, thank you. Chicago. I'm from Chicago. Today was, well, the Bears play tomorrow. I'm a big Bears fan. Anyway, Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. What do you got on your mind tonight?
Just wanted to comment a couple things really quick. First is about the tips. No, the restaurants shouldn't be keeping our tips.
Okay.
Hands down. I mean, if we wanted to go work in a restaurant, there's a plethora of restaurants hiring. We could have gone in and went in for the interview and got the job probably right there.
Yeah, I mean, every restaurant in my town's hiring just about, I'd say. Like, everybody's hiring, you know?
Well, I'm right out of Chicago, so I'm like northern burbs. I'm like Lake County, Gurney, Waukegan area.
Yeah, I know the area.
That there's every restaurant I go into.
Yep.
Every single restaurant is, hiring.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with the holiday season coming up, restaurants, the busiest time in restaurants are from November to February 14th. So we're getting ready to be, in the restaurants, they're getting ready to be the busiest 3 months of the year in every restaurant. And a lot of them are understaffed. So, they're trying to gear up to get staffed, but I think a lot of them are struggling to do it.
Exactly. And then with the teenagers that don't want to work, it's even harder.
Yeah, well, it is. And it doesn't help that we have teenagers now. It's like some of the parents don't want their teenagers to work because they want them to do other things, or they want, you know what I'm saying? They're coddled a little bit, and it's a bad situation. It's the workforce it's going to be tough, and people are making money doing other things, which is good, but it's going to change the work sector, especially in the service industry with food. And I think it's going to be very different. 10 years from now, it's going to be drastically different than we've ever seen before.
Yep. Well, as far as the car being winterized, yes. Like I said, I'm right out of Chicago, so our winters are brutal.
Brutal. You can go whole weeks at a time and it's snow on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a 4-year-old, so I have to keep my car maintained at all times.
I'm happy to hear that you feel that it's ready, and that's good because it's also a safety thing when you're driving in snow or sleet or you slick roads, all that kind of stuff.
One question for you. Have you come across anything from DoorDash that states that we can't have our kids with us? I know Instacart's against your kid going to work with you, but I don't know about DoorDash. In one of the group chats I'm in, I guess somebody in Illinois got deactivated because Walmart went ahead and complained to DoorDash that their child was with them.
Yeah, I do know on the Walmart, if you're on DoorDash and you get a Walmart order, it says on the interface Walmart will not release food to you if you have underage kids in the car. I've seen it on my app, so I know that to be true. That could be a contract agreement between Walmart and DoorDash, because that disclaimer doesn't pop up on a Papa John's order. It doesn't tell me that, right? But I don't know 100% what DoorDash's stance or what the agreement TOS says about having kids in the car. I have no idea. I should probably look that up, but I can't say 100% what they say about it. But I can definitely know that the Walmart, they say in the app that they will not release the order to you if you have kids in the car that are underage.
Yeah, because a lot of people were commenting, well, I dash with my 11-year-old. My 11-year-old's not going to steal food from
Right.
Walmart.
Right.
And I'm like, well, when I have my son, because I have him part-time because my ex-husband and I joint custody. But when I'm home, when I have him, I'm home with him. I don't want to take him out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think, I'm not in a position to where my kids have to come dash with me, but I think I understand and can be empathetic to like a mom or father that needs to make money, and maybe they're a single parent and they gotta have their kid with them. Like, they might not have childcare. Like, I get it. So I wouldn't want to like have a strong opinion saying, oh, you should never bring your kids. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what it's like to have to make that decision. But, I also don't know what DoorDash thinks about that. I think there's some safety issues when you have your kid, possibly. I do hear some people. Go ahead.
Exactly. It's the whole thing. It's the safety issue.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of crime up here in Illinois around Chicago, and I can't imagine trying to take your child door dashing if you're going to be carjacked or something.
Yeah. I do know there are other people that are subscribers to this channel that have called in, and they'll bring their grandkids with them, and they teach them how to do stuff and work for a living and make an honest buck. And I think there's some value in that, right? But I think it depends on age, it depends on your market, maybe it depends on how long you're doing it. Do you got your kids in the car with you for 10 hours? Do you have your kids in the car for you for an hour on a Saturday afternoon? I think there's different scenarios to where they're not all equal. But for me, I don't, I would never have to, I wouldn't think bring my kids with me. But I think there's some parents, maybe that's the only option they have. And because they're a single parent for whatever reason, right? Or it's a dad that has his kids on the weekends. And I remember my dad, he used to throw newspapers. When people read newspapers, we had a van, and for he'd have the three of us on a weekend, and we'd go out with him and throw newspapers with him out of the van in the morning. And that's because he had to do that. And his time with us, he wanted to spend time with us, but he also had to make money. So I get it, but it's a tough position to be in as a parent, I think, if you're having to do that. I will say I have heard stories of parents having a 10, 11, 12-year-old with them, and they're going into the store and they're picking up orders for their parents. I don't know about that. I think that's a little sketchy. But I don't know what DoorDash says about it. I'm going to have to look that up because I'm not sure 100%.
Yep. Well, that's it. I just wanted to comment on, the whole winter thing, because I know Missouri gets hit. Yeah. We get hit in Illinois. So I'm anticipating this winter.
Yeah. And, it's in St. Louis. Chicago tends to be obviously more cold for longer periods of time than St. Louis. Tomorrow, it'll be 70 degrees in St. Louis, right? Which is spring weather. But then next week, it could literally snow here. Our weather changes day to day. It's really crazy. But Chicago, man, be safe. I'm glad you're ready, and I appreciate you calling in.
And have a good Thanksgiving.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Right. Yeah, Chicago, man. And Chicago roads. Woo! Good Lord Jesus. The Chicago streets, man. I think I got it bad in St. Louis. The streets out there are just pothole city central. Parking is atrocious if you're downtown. It's you got to be an aggressive driver. You cannot be passive in Chicago if you're driving, because it is it's wild. All right. Let's take a few more calls, see what we got in here. Troy Rowland, those keep you good. Those keep you from getting robbed by thugs. Also, no one going to try to steal your car while you're delivering the food to the house. I missed a comment. Let's see. Marty says, I can't stand when I see parents send their kids to get the food. I don't like that either. I don't mind the kid being with them. I just don't think it's safe to send a kid inside a busy store alone. Yeah, Marty, I think it's, there are some 15-year-olds that, you can send into a store and they can pick up the McDonald's. Probably they're 15, right? They could work at that McDonald's, right? But they shouldn't be doing it, I think, at the end of the day. But I think it's tough. I think some parents, they have to do it maybe. But at the end of the day, you should just go get it yourself then, right? Why have your kid go inside? I don't know. Some parents might use their kids to help them make money because maybe they're in trouble. I think there's a lot of situations why maybe a parent might bring their kid. I don't know. But I don't feel like I've seen it in my market. At least it hasn't stood out to me where I see like a kid picking up an order. I can't remember any time that I've ever witnessed that. All right, let's take this next call. You are live with Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Who do we have on the line tonight?
Hey Pedro, it's Liam Defoe again.
Liam, what's up, man? How you doing?
How you doing? I'm good. I was watching, and I have something to say about kids coming into restaurants and whatnot.
Sure.
I used to work at a Dunkin' Donuts like 3 years ago, and kids, literal 6, 7-year-olds looking like kids, would come into the restaurants and pick up orders. And every time we would hand the orders to the kids, my manager would get mad at us because apparently it was against DoorDash contracts or whatnot.
Okay.
And I was just wondering, do you know if that's actually against DoorDash contracts violation?
I don't know. I know that on the Walmart orders, when you get it, it tells you that Walmart won't release this order if there are kids in your car. But I have never seen that on any other orders. But I also don't know all the TOS from DoorDash line by line. I need to look into it. I'll do a little research, but I'm not sure what their stance is on that.
Right, because I don't think that a pizza, like let's say a local pizza shop, I don't think their delivery drivers would have a kid with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just doesn't seem right in contract-wise. I just feel like it's a violation somehow.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's sort of like abuse of child. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's weird, man. I've gone to places and I've seen kids at restaurants with parents, like maybe because the dad or mom's going to pick them up and there's a kid at a table or behind the counter. Like, I've seen that. I've seen images online of a mom at a Waffle House with her kid in her hand as she's pouring coffee. Like, I've seen this stuff, right? I've seen images and videos of a kid came in to work with his mom at a pizza joint, and he's in the back, like, making pizzas, and he's like a 10-year-old kid. So these things happen. I think they're very, very infrequent, but I think they happen. And I think it goes to a bigger issue of some parents don't have childcare. Some parents are in broken homes, like, you know what I'm saying? Like single family homes, and they're forced to make these really tough decisions. So I think it's very interesting. I do want to find out what DoorDash's stance is on that. I think a lot of Dashers do it. And I think most of the time they're not going to get caught because DoorDash, for the most part, leaves us alone unless there's a really big issue that comes up. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I just wonder. I mean, it's one issue if, like, the parents are just sending the kids in alone. You know what I'm saying? That's a safety issue.
Yeah.
But the parents are coming in with the kids. That's a totally different story. But what I've experienced before is just kids coming in alone. And in my area, it's pretty sketch, so I wouldn't say that kids are safe to be walking alone with big orders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think it depends on it.
If they're coming in with them, it's totally teaching them work ethic and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like, some parents are super lazy and just send the kids in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it could be that. It could be there's a lot of reasons. Like I've said, I think it's tough to. I can't put myself in the shoes of a single mom that's got 3 kids and she's got to make rent and she's got no childcare. So it's like, okay, do I leave my 6, 7, and 2-year-old at home, or do I put them in a car and say, hey guys, we got to go make $50 so we can eat dinner tonight? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there are some people that fall into that category, and I think there is a single mom that could do it and maybe still be safe with her kids. I don't know, but she's taking that calculated risk. But do I think a kid should walk into a Dunkin' Donuts at 6 years old and pick up a coffee? Absolutely not. Like, I think that's a little odd to me. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, in my area, the people that are actually sending their kids in seem a little bit wealthier. They're driving nicer cars, such as Mercedes and whatnot, and they're just sitting in the car and sending the kids in. If you know what I mean? I've seen the same kids growing up. Mm-hmm. And then I started DoorDashing, and then I see the same kids sitting in the hotspot zone with their parents, and they're in pretty nice cars. The moms are just pretty lazy to not go in, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, let me ask you this. I know that on DoorDash, you can order on DoorDash and order for pickup, Do you think some of those customers are ordering through the Dash app pickup for themselves, and they're just having the kid pick up their own food? It's not like going to another destination?
That is a very valid question, but I don't think that they'd be frequently picking up orders, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From the same restaurants, like 2 to 3 times an hour.
Oh, yeah. If it's,
Dunkin' in the morning, they would be coming 2 to 3 times an hour, the little kids. So it was like, I don't know how to take that.
Yeah.
I mean, the moms could be a coffee addict, but I don't think it's that. But
so we got Kathy. While I have you on the phone, I think she just looked something up. She said, part 2, being an independent contractor and not an employee, you have some leeway in how you conduct your work from Google just now. Yeah, I think, we are. I read my part 1 and part 2 comment. Kathy says, part 1, DoorDash does allow someone else to ride with Dashers on deliveries. So unlike Instacart, Dashers can bring a friend, child, or spouse as long as their presence does not interfere with your work. So Kathy is saying that's the stance from DoorDash. So interesting stuff. I think it's a good conversation because I think there's a lot of gray area. But at the end of the day, like if I had to make a stance and choose one way or the other, I'd say, you know what, if your kid's under 13, like they shouldn't be picking up orders. You know what I'm saying? Like I think there's a certain age where it seems maybe more appropriate. But like if your kid's 6 or 7, you shouldn't be going in the store alone to pick up a DoorDash order. So.
Especially depending on the area. But that's the parent's decision, right? Like that's up to them how they safeguard their child, right? But obviously if you're in an urban city, big city, higher crime rate, I'm not going to send my kid in alone. But some parents would say, hey, I'm teaching my kid to be tough. I'm teaching them the reality of this world. So I think there's 2 sides to the coin. But it's definitely an interesting conversation. I appreciate you bringing it up. But hey, Pedro, don't get me wrong. Like, if the person who is driving is disabled and is sending their kids in, that is a totally different story.
Sure.
Like, if they're not able to walk or anything like that, and they're sending their kids to help them meet ends week, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a totally different story than somebody who is totally capable of going in and getting the order with their kids, showing them what the correct work ethic.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think some people fall into that area. Like, hey, I got a kid. You're gonna, this is your chores. I believe in kids doing chores and making their bed, cleaning dishes, feeding and walking dogs, doing their own laundry when they're old enough, sweeping the floor, vacuuming, doing, I think that those things.
DoorDash orders.
But yeah, and some parents might see that as the chore. Hey, it's Saturday. Hey, what did you guys do your chores this week? Oh no, we didn't do them. Okay, you know what? You're gonna go dash with me, and I'm gonna show you the value of $1. I think some parents might fall into that. I think it's you gotta be a certain. I would walk in with my kid if I was gonna do that. I wouldn't just send my kid in by themselves. But to each his own, I guess.
Exactly, and I feel like when they bring their kid door dashing with them. Like, every time you step into your car, you say, okay, I'm going to step into my office, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It shows an actual work ethic and how you can manage your own business and how you can be your own entrepreneur in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I hear you. I think there's definitely some value in it for sure. So
exactly.
Good conversation, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Have a wonderful night, Pedro.
You too, man. Thank you.
Take care.
All right. The chat looks like it's live. Let me read a little bit of this. So, kids need guidance. Oh. Facts. Let me see. Let me read a little bit of this here. I know Dash Grandpa said he'd hate to have his grandkids with him. Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be something that would be fun for me, at least. I'm not trying to mix that family time with the work time in that way, but I don't know, to each his own. Let's see. Point, though, is a child cannot do work legally until they are a certain age in the state. They are representing a company, DoorDash, and that's a liability to the company and their standards. Very good point, Random Ryan. For all the mothers out there, I wish it. Do not bring your child. Whoa, hold up. For all the mothers out there, I was hit so hard that my hat flew off my head and ended up in the back seat. If at all possible, do not bring your child. So it sounds like Zach had. I hope you're okay. It sounds like he had an experience. Grace says, Pedro, what are you doing for your birthday? We're going to my dad's house. We're doing an 80s theme party We're all going to dress up like 80s theme. So we're going to do that in a couple of days. It'll be fun. My family's supposed to be there, siblings. No trip, Nathan, all day, bro. All day long. We're going to take a 10th call. We just did 9 calls. We're going to take this call right here. You are live with Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Who do we have on the line tonight?
This is Adam Sanchez.
What's up, man? How are you, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I saw you change the name of the channel, man.
Yep. I changed the name of the channel.
How long did you?
I figured since I got. Huh?
When did you do that?
Right when I got my first deal.
Okay, so you want to talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, I'll talk about that. So, I've been advertising, driving for dollars, and while I'm doing my DoorDash, so I'm looking for properties. I save it under my tool called PropStream. So whenever I see a property, I click on the address on the map on PropStream, and then I save it. And so I've been doing that for a while. So I ended up saving up to nearly 2,000 properties. And after that, I do this thing called skip tracing, which is it looks up their phone numbers and stuff like that. So after I do that, then I load it into the system where it sends people messages. It sends them text messages and ringless voicemail. So when I did that, that's when I started to get traction because I used to just call if I see a vacant house. I used to call them, but I used to never get no responses.
So it sounds like you got a little you fine tuned it a little bit, like. I found a system. This is what all the wholesalers and the real estate world they're doing. Yeah. And it took me a while to figure that out. And I used to work for this guy at FedEx. He's one of the biggest wholesalers in Oklahoma City right now. And I have a friend that me and him both used to work for him, and we both used to work for a warehouse. He's been doing real estate for 3 years, and he has like 20-something properties, so he's pretty new at it, but he's kicking butt in real estate. So I'm trying to get to what they're doing. Now I'm using DoorDash. To do that. So while I'm, doing my orders, I'm all over the city. You know how it is. You're all over the city. Yeah. So you're using it as an opportunity to see what properties or opportunities are out there because you're driving all over the place already. Right, and you see a house that's boarded up. There might be a house that's burnt up. Some people like to buy those and fix them up and flip them. Yeah. And so whenever I implemented the system, that's when I started to get. I got traction. I went from doing 10 offers a month to doing 50 offers a day. So I finally locked up my first. I finally got my first contract. I'm waiting for it to close, but as soon as that closed, I should get a $10,000 check. Wow! And this could be more. This deal that I got is so good. I could, if I had more skin in the game, had relationships with banks, and had new hard money lenders and private money lenders, I could easily make like $60,000 on this deal. Oh, then then it's like the DoorDash is like obsolete at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like it it's like you're using DoorDash as a stepping stone to get into real estate. Is what it sounds like to me. Yes, exactly. So because it gives me if I was still working at FedEx or say I was working at AT&T or something, I won't have the time to do that. Right, because you're on their schedule. You know what I'm saying? Right, and with DoorDash we're free, but how free are we really? Because can we take a break a whole week or a whole month and be okay? Yeah, right. Like we are free because we control our schedule and we can do that. But this made me where I can stop what I'm doing. I can stop my orders. I could go talk to somebody on the phone, like, hey, what would you like for your home? And we negotiate. They say yeah, they say no. All you need is that one yes. All you need is the one. It's real estate's always something that's fascinating me because that's how you make money. Like what I'm saying. Like you can make if you know what you're doing and you're smart about it and you can invest into a property put some sweat equity in it or pay somebody else to fix it up and then you flip it. Like it's, people have been making money like this for centuries now. Like land is forever. Like land is the most profitable thing we got, right? So, but I've never like gone out and like actually thought about doing that just because like it's just so foreign to me. But I know a little bit, but like it's a very interesting idea. And I remember watching your videos, and you were the one specifically a couple months back, and you were like, you saw a property and you like literally filmed and you called that number or whatever, and you were showing people how to do it. And it's an absolutely fantastic idea. I've never seen anybody talk about it besides yourself.
Right, and I'm just like, that's just one thing. If someone wanted to be a rapper, and they had to make money, they could go do DoorDash, and then they have a studio session, and then they can stop and then go to their studio session, and after that, then go. It's whatever you want to do. If you want to be an actor, it's whatever you want to do. And I'm just saying this as in real estate. DoorDash definitely made it possible for me to be able to do that, because it would be so hard trying to do that working at Amazon or working at. It would make it
Listen,
tough.
man, I cannot agree with you more. And I talk about DoorDash when they do bad things or, try to hold them accountable, and I question things and stealing tips, doing that, low base pay, crappy orders. But at the end of the day, the one thing that I think is really great about doing these gig apps is what you're talking about. Because if you have a plan, you have a goal, you want to work on something, you're betting on yourself, like, you can do these apps and make money while you're doing your other thing that you really want to do. And you use it as a true stepping stone. Like if you're just going to do DoorDash and do it forever, you're going to be frustrated. It's not going to last long because like at the end of the day, like it'll be hard to make a living just off DoorDash, but you could do it for a period of time if you have a plan. And I think DoorDash has afforded me to have freedom and flexibility to get a couple vending machines and then start this other side hustle. I have a YouTube channel mostly because of DoorDash, right? So like at the end of the day, like if you think about, if you take the emotion out of what DoorDash does negative and just know how to use the app to your benefit, I think it's a really fantastic thing to have for that reason.
Right, and it's what you talk about every day. You say, bet on yourself, bet on you.
You got to bet on you. Like I we can get frustrated all we want, and that's cool. And I think there's some things we should fight for, and like we shouldn't be taken advantage of. I get all that, but at the end of the day, like I'm gonna take my energy and work to build something for me, and not worry about like some things I can't control. But I can control what I do, And I think that I try to have people think about it, looking at it from that vantage point, because at the end of the day, like I'll be in a better position next year having that train of thought than if I am just, I'm a DoorDash guy and I'm just going to be mad and complain about DoorDash. No, that's not going to really get me anywhere if I have that mentality.
Right, and that's the thing people need to change their mind. Like if they're going to be mad at DoorDash all the time, they need to figure out, get a plan and change that. Like you said about vending machines, you're making passive income. If you have so many vending machines where you're making like $3,000 a month, you could choose to be away from DoorDash and it won't hurt you.
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean?
I know
you could be away for a whole month.
I absolutely agree with that, man.
And that's what I feel like DoorDash is. This is an opportunity, man. It's the opportunity to transition, because you are your own boss. You are your own company. But then it's time that, you got to figure out what's the next thing you want to do. And DoorDash has definitely made it possible for me. It's made it possible for you. It's possible for everybody that does DoorDash, all your subscribers, all my subscribers. It's definitely something you can turn into something else.
I agree with that. I think if you know how to leverage it into what you really want to do, whatever that is, and if you just want to do DoorDash, like do that. But like you got to understand, like at some point the app will change, and maybe you won't have as much freedom if we become employees or whatever that looks like. So you should be thinking like, what's the next step, and use this as leverage to do something that you really enjoy. And that's what that's what I preach, man. So.
And I'm not gonna lie, I used to be a FedEx driver, so I was doing that for like 8 years. So I have a love for delivering. I actually like doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm not, even though if I make it to the next level in real estate and have a whole bunch of properties, I'm still going to find myself doing DoorDash just because I like it.
Sure, it is fun to kind of, you got there, you're driving, you know what I'm saying? Like there's an enjoyability to it, I think, for some people.
And it's fun if it's one of those days where you're making $30-something an hour and in 2-3 hours you make $100. That's a fun day. I love those days.
I mean, that's nothing. That's good money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's right. There are people that go to school to make $30 an hour. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's we're delivering food, we're delivering McDonald's, but hey, money is money. So if I make 80 grand in a year delivering DoorDash, and there's somebody that went to school and they're making 80 grand with their degree, 80 grand is 80 grand. It doesn't matter how you made the money. It matters like that you got the money and what you're doing with it. You know what I'm saying? I think too much of us
look at it like this. The person that went to school, they went what, 60,000, 50,000, or 40,000 in debt just to make that.
Right, exactly. So I agree, man. I mean, the way we're making money now is so different, and it's out here. You just gotta hustle like Adam. You know what I'm saying? If y'all can hustle like Adam and figure out that next step and leverage these apps, you can make a future doing something that you really want, and maybe more money and working less time, a little bit of passive income. I think that's the route, man. And I like using DoorDash in that way. So.
Yeah, and then you got how many vending machines you said you got?
Well, I have one right now that's actually making me money, and I have another one that isn't making me money yet. But eventually, I'll have two. Hopefully, probably by February, that'll both be making me money. Like it's not a lot now, but I'm talking. In a month with both machines, I should be profiting maybe $600. These aren't big vending machines, but that's $600 of profit after my cost and everything. That's extra $600. So
if you could figure out a way to have, like, if you're making like $3,000 a month off of just vending machines, that's lovely. You could just sit at home and just you're just making money.
I could, and that's the thing is I'm trying to get to 4 streams of income. Right now I have 3. And once I get the fourth one, I'll probably be good to where I can really start doing some other things and investing more and stuff like that. But right now I got 3, and the 3 are, YouTube's one of them. I make decent money on YouTube, man, and it's a blessing. But I also do videos. I do videos every day, so like I'm putting work and the effort in. But it's paying. It's leveraging. You gotta know what you can leverage and what time you can put forth into something. And if you can get a return on your time, it's worth it, I think. So.
Yeah, and doing YouTube itself, that's real estate in itself, because that's content that, people are going to watch forever. That people that's interested in DoorDash,
it's passive income. Yeah, it's passive income. Like there are people on YouTube that made videos a year ago and they're still getting money every month. It might not be a lot. That money can slow down, right? If you're not making new videos, but that's still passive income. Even if it's $100 you're getting for something you did last year, you've already spent the time doing it. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a lot of other things out there that we could be looking at. And it's not just YouTube. There's a plethora of things. It could be something like eBay or whatever, So, Adam, I appreciate the phone call, man. Good luck out there, brother.
Man, appreciate you.
All right, see you later.
All right, bye.
All right, good conversation. Adam has a channel. He changed the name. Hold on. I think right now I'm going to find it. Adam, if you're still watching, you can put your link in. It's called, he changed it. It was Adam Sanchez. I think it is. I can't find it. Adam, if you're watching, put it in. All right. So let's see what we got going on in the chat. How do I call in? That's Derek. You know what, Derek? I'll put the number in. I always say it's going to be the last call, and then, I just can't help myself. I like to talk to people that know more than me. 6232. That's the number right there, Derek. Writing letters. Random Ryan. I sit at home writing letters and make $6K to $12K a month and can do anytime I want. The more I do, the more I take. It gets tiring and boring, but freedom is amazing. So Random Ryan writes letters and makes money doing letters. That's interesting. I need to have a chat about Instacart with you, Pedro. But so I saw that email you sent me. I just haven't wrapped my brain around the Instacart life fully yet, but all right, let's take this call. You are live with Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Who do we have on the line tonight? Derek, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. What do you want to talk about tonight?
All right, so I have a kind of like a question for you.
Okay.
And everyone else out there. So, like the past month, I moved from upstate New York down to Knoxville, Tennessee, and in the past month, I've seen with tips have been kind of like an oddball number, like meaning like 650 specifically, and it's been really like frequent. So I don't know if that's like just me or if that's for like everyone and like yourself. So I'm just kind of curious about that.
So what were some of the orders you were seeing that weren't oddball before?
Kind of like the chain restaurants.
Like, well, what was the amount? Because you said 650 was oddball. Was there an amount before that was different that wasn't 650?
Like you're talking about like maybe like 614 or like 618, stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, not often.
Okay.
I mean, like I would, but like I knew they were like that because they're from like Panera or from the app and whatnot.
Yeah. So are you saying you're seeing smaller orders, like smaller offers, or just different amounts?
Just different amounts, like I would get like a $750 tip, and then like the next order would be like a $550. Like it's never like a round number anymore. It's like more like a
I see. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. So okay, this is what I could say to that. When I started doing DoorDash, my base pay was $3. Okay.
Yep.
That's kind of where it started. And it would go up based on maybe if the order was declined a lot or whatever. And then my base pay maybe 4 months ago went down to $2.25. So I used to see a lot of $6, $7, $8 orders, right? Right now, it's very common for me to see $6.25, $7.25, $6.50, $6.75. I see a lot of those odd number, like not whole numbers.
I get what you're saying. I'm talking about like the tip though specifically.
Oh, the tip. So what I would say to that, I was going to get to that, is I have noticed, and no, you're fine. Somebody sent me something. So like the default tip on a McDonald's, for example, right? It would be based on like how much you spend. So if you spend $20 at McDonald's, it used to be like it would say, tip the driver 2, 3, or 4, right? Right now, what I've saw that they've done in about the last few weeks or so, maybe a month, that 2, 3, and 4 has turned into $2.50, $3.50, $4.50.
Gotcha.
So they've added 50 cents in there. Some people think it's to combat the hidden tips. So like I know if my offer shows me $6.25, most of the time that's going to be more because it's showing me a $4 tip. And if a customer tips more than 4, DoorDash only shows me 4, so it could turn out to be a $5 or $10 or $20 tip. So some people are thinking that they're now, because the customer can tip $4.50 versus $4, it might show me $6.75 versus $6.25. So some people think it's a way of like tricking us to not be able to find the hidden tip, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It could also be that they're trying to. It could be to where they're wanting the customer to tip even less, so that the customer feels like they're getting a better value. Because when you order on DoorDash, you'll see your McDonald's order will be $20, but then if you go all the way to the end, then the order will change from 20 to 24 with that suggested tip. So it might be a way of tricking. It's like a psychological way of saying we want the customer to see $23.50 versus 24. They're more apt to actually finalize the transaction, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, just like the past month, like I said, like month and a half, it was kind of weird. Like complete the order and whatnot. The tip would be like I said, $6.50 or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
it does seem odd because I think most people tip whole numbers. You're going to tip $5. I think that's $4 or $5, and to tip $5.50 is very strange.
Right, like you said, I think in one of your videos, from Panera, that they have just select like a percentage or whatever.
Percentage, yeah. Some merchants use percentage, and then that's how you're going to get like a 6.18 or something crazy like that,
Right. All right, well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem, man. Keep dashing. Have a good rest of your night, and I hope you have a good week coming up, man.
Thank you, too. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, man. All right, Derek. All right, so 99.9% of my tips are whole numbers. I get a lot, Zach. I get most of my tips are actually not whole numbers. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's always that dollar amount and then a 25 or a 50 after it or 75. I'm sure it's market specific based on market and stuff though. So I would think so. I don't know. It's weird. Delivery free now. Crawley, Uber Eats customers give more after delivery. DoorDash can, but not often. That's very true. Very, very, very true. Most of mine are whole. I'm going to really start looking at that. I feel like most of mine, more than half of mine, I would say are something in some sense. Yeah. All right. So I think this is where we come to an end. I want to talk about a few things before we do that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I like how you guys help each other out. You guys are very lively in this chat. And I see I watch a lot of channels, and there's the chat is live in those as well. But I like to think it's a little bit different here because you guys are very communicative with me, and you guys call in, and I think we got a good vibe. So I just want to let you guys know I'm very appreciative of the people that come and watch this channel. You guys are supporting me, and I get paid on YouTube, so I cannot be thankful enough of that. And I just want to be transparent and say thank you very much. Thanks for vibing with me on my birthday week. So I'll be 40 in a couple days. It's going to be fun. Be looking for some more Instacart, maybe batch vlogs coming because I got Instacart now. So if you guys like that kind of stuff, that'll be coming out. Check out a video I made today. Some of you might have seen it. Most of you haven't. Not a lot of people watched it yet. It's a short video. It's only like a minute and maybe a half. I did a little driving music. I got this track. It's no words. It's just the music behind it. I like the melody. I want you to check it out. I like it. When I listen to this song, I imagine me driving in like a city and the way the beat goes. It's really nice. So check out that video I made today if you guys want to. It's only a minute. Give me your thoughts on it. And if you know the song, put it in the comments below on that video. So listen, I hope you guys are ready for this week coming up. I hope your car is ready. If you're in an inclement weather area and it's going to be cold and it might snow or whatever, freeze, sleet, hail, all that stuff, make sure your car's ready. Also, Thanksgiving's coming up. So what are your plans with that? Make sure you're talking to your family members. You guys are planning that accordingly. Thanksgiving is a holiday I enjoy only because I like to eat and I like to get around and watch football. It's one of my nice holidays. So I won't be working that week, so that I might not even have any content out that week. We'll see, but I'm going to take that week off. So I hope you guys can balance your stuff out and do the same at some point for you coming up. A lot of holidays coming up. And what else? I think that's about it. So listen, bet on you, set goals one day at a time. I cannot stress that enough. Okay. I believe in it. I'm living proof of that. And this channel is living proof of that. You guys have helped me bet on myself. I had a goal. I had myself and a phone, and I was making videos, and now you guys watch, and it's very humbling. I'm very honored to be part of this community, helping you guys out. But whatever that means to you, betting on yourself, it feels good to do it, and you see some success. Now, I've bet on myself before, and you don't. Sometimes you bet on yourself and you lose. That's fine as well. But at the end of the day, if you keep trying, something will stick for you. I do believe that, and I think this channel is proof of that. So you guys are fantastic. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up on the way out. See you guys on the next live. Have a great night.